In AFL today, matches from the MCG and Victoria Park. The clash of unbeaten leaders Melbourne and Essendon sees the heavyweight bout between the teams who last week beat last year's grand finalists. The Bombers will start favourites, but the Demons have added firepower, with Darren Bennett kicking 16 goals in the first 2 weeks. And Collingwood against Sydney Swans. The Pies, inspired by Peter Dacos, finished all over Carlton last week. But the Swans have a better record than most visitors recently at Victoria Park. Good evening and welcome to AFL Today. And our first match for replay tonight is the game at the MCG between Melbourne and Essendon, the two unbeaten teams in the competition. And after St Kilda lost on Saturday, the winner of today's game would go to the outright top of the competition, 1 game clear of the opposition. No changes from the 20 players named. It was a fantastic start in front of nearly 60,000 people. The Bombers in a tight huddle before the start of the game. Simon Madden speaking to them. Interesting, he's not the captain, Tim Watson is. Michael Roberts down on ground level.
Well, great atmosphere down here, Drew. A real buzz in the air, and if we don't get any rain, it should be ideal for football. The current temperature at the moment is 18.2 degrees Celsius. The expected top was 18, so we've reached that already. The relative humidity, 56%. There's swirling winds gusting up to 10 kilometres, but no real goal advantage for either team. The ground is firm, and the forecast is mainly fine, but we could get some showers later on.
And we'll be hearing from Michael Roberts during the game. Sean White, who was a spectator today, out injured. But we were pleased, Bernie, before the game he drew the raffle and we both scored. The record between the two teams, Melbourne and Essendon, shows Essendon clearly on top. But most importantly, in the last 5 years, Essendon have won 9 out of their last 10 clashes. So they certainly have the wood on the Demons in recent years. Well, we'll be keeping viewers up to date with progress scores of other AFL matches this afternoon. 2 other games, Geelong and Fitzroy, and Collingwood and Sydney. And we'll be showing highlights of the Collingwood-Sydney clash at half-time and at the end of the match. With Peter McKenna and Bernie Quinlan, let's have a look at the teams as they're lining up. This should be an absolute ripper, shouldn't it?
Well, they've had some memorable clashes over the years, these two sides, and Melbourne, very, very underrated side. They'll have to contain this man. He played a very good game, Bernie, against Hawthorn in the last match.
Yes,
Tim Watson.
The whole Essendon on-ball players played magnificently last week. Michael Long, Greg Anderson, and Melbourne will have to contain these players if they're going to win the game. But the good thing going from Melbourne, they have 2 tall ruckmen, and they'll be able to match at least Madden and Simon and Paul Salmon.
That'll be a great clash. Darren Bennett, we just saw them a moment ago. Darren Bennett down there on Anthony Danaher, who's in great form.
Umpires Peter Carey and Chris Mitchell. Chris Mitchell gets us underway. Essendon going right to left. Salmon in there trying to flick it out, and it does come out too. And a long kick forward by Cransberg comes unstuck for Essendon. Hey, gee, it's tough in there. Through goes Stretch. Long gets a hand pass back to Anderson. His kick is smothered. Kick it. Ball spills out. Beebe clears for the Demons. Out towards centre wing. Watson toes the ball forward, but he's going to run out of room. And the ball goes out of bounds in between wing and half forward.
Looks like Bernie Andrew Obst might be picking up Tim Watson. That's a big task for a young player.
Yes, big job, Peter, because Timmy Watson runs all day, never lets up.
Well, there's the Essendon champion on screen. Tim Watson started when he was 15 years of age and got a little bit of needling there from Jim Steins behind the plate. Salmon against O'Dwyer. Oh, O'Dwyer got that one down to Newport. Newport was brought down from behind when he didn't have the ball. Umpire right on the scene to see that one. Stephen Newport, very underrated footballer. To half forward is a poor kick. And the mark has been taken by Neil Danaher and the crowd roars. Over to Gary O'Donnell from centre wing. The long kick to half forward. Terry Danaher. It's a mark. No, umpire hasn't played that. Stephen Clark. Over to Newport, who's bumped hard off the ball, but goes in and gets it again. That's good football, Newport. Over to Brett Lovett. Lovett wide to Brian Wilson. Wilson looking for the hand pass. He'll put his teammate Lovett under pressure. There a poor tackle by Derek Kickett. That's not like him. Steins to half forward. Mark Thompson trying to take the mark. Buick. It's pretty solid in the clinches out there as players charge in after it. Hand passes from Thompson. He's a very good footballer. And the free kick is paid down. The ground will go to Derek Kickett on centre wing.
A lively opening and finals type atmosphere. Kickett pokes one over short to Buick on centre wing. Buick's left foot at a half forward is good. Kransberg should have swallowed it. Plain in there. And the umpire's going to ball this up half a metre inside the boundary line down towards half forward.
Yes, that was a bad miss by Kransberg. Perfect pass by Darren Buick. And just couldn't put a handle on it.
Salmon to compete against O'Dwyer. Ball up nearly went out of bounds. Now it's out. And we'll have a throw-in.
Gee, these ruck contests should be very interesting. Could have a big bearing on the result. If O'Dwyer can contain Salmon and Simon Madden, I think Melbourne may have a chance.
Well, unusually, both teams had two tall ruckmen. Salmon won that one. And this one comes down towards O'Brien, centering kick. Kransberg goes on with it, but it's got to come back on the mark to Van der Haar.
Yes, Paul Van der Haar, very important in this Essendon side. Still playing well at 32 years of age.
Pass a bit too long. Terry Danaher playing his first game for the season is there. He can't gather it. Manning in. Flip out, comes to Plain. Well chopped off by Spalding for Melbourne. Up towards O'Dwyer, centre wing. Couldn't quite take the mark. Comes off to Obst. Obst goes back out to Phoebe. Up towards half forward. And the chest mark is taken down there by Lovell. Melbourne forward for the first time in the game. Anthony Danaher in front of Bennett, but ran past it. Neil Danaher with a mark and a kick already. Great to see him back. Steins trying to hold it up at ground level and does. And we'll have a ball up.
And it seems to be that Gary Lyon is playing in defence on Paul Van der Haar. This is probably a little bit surprising. I think he'd line up at the forward line. Here's Watson out of defence and wide. Now is it out in the full? Boundary umpire said no. So it'll be a throw-in, half forward for Melbourne. And that's Andrew Obst on screen with a cut above the eye already. Van der Haar played a very good game against Hawthorn. Certainly instrumental in their victory. That's Anderson, best on the ground. Some Essendon supporters say 2 weeks running. Trying to shoot it out to him was Michael Long. The claps coming from Anderson. And there's Michael Long from Darwin. A brilliant player, this player. Every time he touches that ball, whether it by hand or foot, it goes to advantage to his team. Now, here's Brian Wilson putting it to ground, socket off the ground, towards half forward for Melbourne. Andrew Obst in after it on the left foot, the short passes on the Bennett. Oh, that is good football by Obst. Lovely lead by Bennett, and good full forward play, Bernie.
Yes, well, that's right. He led well. Darren Bennett already kicked 16 goals in his first 2 games, and not much Danaher could do about that. Good pass right on the chest.
A very long kick of a football. He doesn't need length here. He needs accuracy, a very acute angle, but only from 20 metres. Darren Bennett hooks it slightly, or did it sneak in? No, it didn't. He has missed, and that would have been a handy one, but he's missed. One behind Melbourne. Essendon yet to score.
He has kicked fairly accurately this season, having kicked 16 goals 5 before today's game.
Took 5 minutes to get the first score, and that was a behind. That's a free kick to the Essendon defender. Comes back to Manning at half-back flank. Manning short passes. Buick. 2 redheads there. Long and the short of it. With O'Dwyer standing the mark. Buick runs around O'Dwyer easily. Buick's kick to centre half forward. Spalding in front. Takes a chest mark. Terry Danaher well behind that time. Spalding back to half forward. Oh, good mark, Thompson.
Top player, Thompson.
O'Donnell. Lightning hand pass to Manning. Manning goes short. Gets through a big pack. Yates is back there for Melbourne. Gets it off to Stretch. Stretch out to centre wing, and Eishold marks unattended.
Simon Eishold with a long kick to half forward. Oh, this man's looking good. Andrew Obst. He's playing on Tim Watson. He's playing well. He's gone short. Can he find his mark? Is that a free kick? The umpire said no. The Melbourne members won't like that. And the player attempting to take the mark, of course, was Stephen Tingay. The throw-in will take place 30 metres around from the Melbourne goal. They're looking all right so far. As we see the ruck duels again. No decisive hit out. It's forced straight back to the boundary line for another throw-in. Salmon. Greatly improved player, Paul Salmon, doing a lot more ruck work these days. Simon Madden spending more time in the forward pocket. Steins. Had some couple of magnificent seasons for Melbourne. Look at that tap out over the top to Wilson. Further afield to Tingay. A quick kick at goals. Danaher back to take a good mark right on the line. He plays on immediately to Paul Hamilton, who takes the mark at half-back flank.
Hamilton gets around Campbell. Up to centre wing. Manning is there. Shepherd's off an opponent, but is taken by Newport for Melbourne. Hurriedly on the right boot. Bounce could favour Melbourne. Plenty of Melbourne players there. Tingay, who kicked a goal in his first game to win a match for Melbourne. Wilson, great hand pass to Lovell. His kick smothered. Thompson back there for Essendon. Kicks to open spaces. All Melbourne again. As a matter of fact, in the last minute or so, they appeared to have more players on the ground than Essendon. Lyon, short pass. Wilson back to Lyon. Beautiful pass and a long way in the clear as Eichhold. Another player unmarked in the pocket is Lovell. Watson gets there to make it a contest. Off the ground, Steins! Just missed.
Could have been a miraculous goal, that one by Steins, showing his great foot skills.
That was great play by Timmy Watson, wasn't it, to get there and spoil, because he laid that tackle just in the centre of the ground only a couple of seconds before that.
Craig O'Brien, the long kick to centre wing. Terry Danaher coming after. Brett Lovett is a very good player. One of the best half-back flankers in the game, this player. Look at that hand pass. A beautiful long hand pass to Spalding. Spalding to half forward. They're looking good. Melbourne. Bennett. Yes, and the Melbourne crowd roar with delight, because since coming from the West Coast Eagles, he's been a terrific focal point, Bennett.
Yes, that was a great mark out in front of Danaher, and under plenty of pressure, but in the right position. He'll make the distance, no problems, Darren Bennett.
One of the longest kicks in the game. He'll kick from right on 50 metres. They're dominating the play so far, Melbourne. There's a kick by Bennett. It's floating back. I don't think it was touched. It's first goal of the game to Bennett for Melbourne. 1 goal to 8. Melbourne lead Essendon, yet to score.
And Melbourne looking very good so far. They've had the numbers to the ball, and Darren Bennett has been a good focal point at full forward. That's a great mark out in front of Danaher. And Bennett usually kicks a lot further than that. That one just made the distance, but he can kick 60 metres without a problem usually.
Salmon wins in the middle, gets it to Anderson. Terry Danaher, injured in the pre-season. His hand pass wide. Kransberg. Back he goes to Danaher. From outside 50, won't make it. Madden's there. It comes off hands. Chance here. That's a goal of Manning, is it? Andrew Manning gets the Bombers first.
That's a great reply by Essendon there, and it just shows how very important it is to get the ball out of the centre. Terry Danaher showing plenty of dash after coming back. Hasn't had a lot of football under his belt in the last 5 or 6 weeks after that injury in the night game. But good roving there by Manning. Read it beautifully off the pack and quickly to his left boot, kicking that reply for Essendon.
2 points the margin. Melbourne lead. I think we're in for a great contest in this match today. 2 very evenly contested sides. Kick straight up in the air then was by Stephen Phoebe. To half forward Andrew Obbs, playing a great game. Gets it to Lovett. That is a poor kick as the mark is taken by Gary O'Donnell. O'Donnell wide, and he's found Kransberg, West Australian recruit. It's an iffy hand pass. It put Hamilton under a lot of pressure, but he was good enough to go and get it. Over to Buick, the pacey Buick. Further hand pass finds Gary O'Donnell, and the Bombers come forward again. The leader's on, but a courageous mark. Taken at centre back by Lyon. Gary Lyon picking up Paul Vanderhaar. Goes short to Brett Lovett. Lovett immediately plays on. Spalding. Oh, shocking kick by Earl Spalding under no pressure. Straight to Salmon. Salmon off the side of the boot finds Vanderhaar, centre of the ground. He's looking to move the ball on. No one moving. Now he elects to give the hand pass to Greg Anderson. Anderson a quick kick to half forward, but the mark has been taken again by Spalding.
Another good hand pass there, Peter, because Anderson was under pressure right from the moment he received that ball.
Spalding, 2 marks and 5 possessions, has been a damaging player. Here's Stephen Newport just forward of centre wing. Oh, the hand pass is a shocker. Man on the mark, Vanderhaar, but he had no Essendon player to give it to. Gave it away to Tingay. Tingay centres for Melbourne. Congested centre half forward, comes off hands. O'Donnell a good trap. Bennett gets it out, but the umpire's going to ball it up.
I like the way that Andrew Obster's moving, Bernie.
Yes, he looks okay, doesn't he, Pete?
Number 29 for Melbourne.
Well, so far, Melbourne outplaying Essendon. They lead by 2 points. Everybody over the last 3 years has underestimated Melbourne, but they've made a grand final and a couple of other final series. And this year, of course, they had Darren Bennett at full forward. Free kick to Salmon in ruck. Terry Danaher leading. And Mark's about 20 metres behind the centre circle. Goes out wide. And this is taken by O'Brien. O'Brien to half forward. Manning, the sole goal kicker for the Bombers. Drops the mark. Goes over the top to Madden, getting his first touch. On 50. Up towards full forward. Well gathered by Yates. His kick not great distance. Comes off to Plain. Plain sun to the ground. High tackle, says the umpire. Free kick to Plain.
Well, he took on about 3 Melbourne defenders there. Bradley Plain. Let's have a look at that again. And there's the high tackle. The right arm definitely over the shoulder. A little bit lucky to get away with that. Had the tackle been a little better, he would have been pinged for holding the ball. But he did take on the 3 Melbourne defenders, and he's lucky to get away with it.
He'll be kicking from about 40 metres. Should put the Bombers in front. It's a good kick. He's done that. Essendon 2 goals, Melbourne 1-2.
Well, Essendon are leading on the scoreboard, but Melbourne have been by far the better side as we look at this free kick again. A tackle about to be applied now. There it is, the right arm definitely over the shoulder. And playing from about 40 metres out. Is an excellent kick for goal. Making no mistake, putting Essendon in front.
The Bombers by 4 points. Michael Long off the ground. Gary Lyon at half back to Eichhold. Eichhold the quick kick out to centre wing now. Will Gary O'Donnell get the bounce? He does. He runs straight at the ball. Good play by this much improved defender. Gary O'Donnell, the long kick to the pocket. Buick's in front. He waits at the base. There's Kickett. Beautiful football by Kickett. Still going in after Derek Kickett. It's unluckily for him, he couldn't quite get in a slick hand pass. It was intended for Buick, who soccers it off the ground to Kransberg. Up in front of goal, Danny Hughes reads it well. In front of Simon Madden to take a safe mark 20 metres out from the Essendon goal. Now he's got a man loose. Steins, Salmon and Kickett come against him, and it's forced over the line at half forward for the Bombers. Well, this is like a finals game, finals atmosphere. As we see Salmon tapping it back. Brian Wilson. Oh, good play by Wilson. Further afield the ball comes. That was Lovell. Across to Stretch, who was a very brilliant player. He should have given the hand pass over the top to Obster, was clear, and then immediately kicked it out of bounds on the full. But that was not good play by Stephen Stretch.
Very poor there by Stephen Stretch. The handball was on and he should have given it.
Craig O'Brien, number 12 for the Bombers. Goes across the ground to Anthony Danaher. 3 of the 4 brothers in the seniors today. Bomber Thompson, outer wing. In he goes to Anderson, who can kick like a mule. Goes the short pass this time. Van der Haar. Spoiled by Steins. Play on, says the umpire. Over the top to Lyon. A hurried kick out of there. Went slightly backwards, but to the advantage of the team. Yates. Well measured off to Tingay, who hauls it in with one hand. Stephen Tingay at half-back flank. Salmon with the height here. Campbell made it a good contest. Eichhold, more clever tap on to the advantage of Obst, but didn't quite reach him. Thompson, grabbed by Obst. Thompson played it well. He's left-footed to centre half forward. Steins there for Melbourne, takes an easy mark.
Good player, Jim Steins.
Doing some great work in defence, getting back across that half-back line.
Back to Lyon. Lyon to Stretch. Caught underneath it. Kickett. Tried to get in the hand pass. He's lost it though to Stretch. Stretch has it smothered off the boot. Here's Derek Kickett with the bounce. Will he get it? Yes, he does. As he runs with a long hand pass, he probably should have kicked it. It was intended for Van der Haar. He's bumped off the ball. Tapped by Long. He's a very clever player. Then by Madden. Bradley Plain unselfishly centres the ball to Buick. And Buick's dropped an absolute sitter, but he's got the pace to retrieve it. Lines up the goals. Hooks it back. And it's missed. But it was a very bad miss, that mark, Bernie.
Yes, it looked like a certainty, didn't it?
ticket.
Yes, he caught one in the centre after he hand passed that one to Van der Haar. But Darren Buick, that would have been a certain goal had he taken that mark. It was a sitter and he dropped it.
Short pass into Spalding. His kick longer to centre wing. Anderson couldn't take the mark. At the back, O'Donnell. Beautiful play. Gary O'Donnell finding Danaher. Shocking kick by Terry Danaher. Buick gathers one touch this time. Back to Anderson. Standing starter wobbler. Out into no man's land. All Melbourne. Danny Hughes comes out from full back. Wide to the wing. A lead by Eishold. Beats him out of bounds and we'll have a throw in.
Oh, there could be a free kick against Eishold. He didn't like the little shove he got. Here's a little shove from O'Brien, and Eishold didn't like it. No, they will be thrown in.
Would you have paid a free kick then? Would you have paid a free kick?
Well, I think I would have there, Peter.
Centre wing. There's a lot of feeling out there, and very important game for both sides. Wilson to Obst. Kick at a good tackle. He is a very good tackler. So is Long, and that's holding the ball. And that's good umpiring. The tackler being rewarded. The kick towards half-forward. Bradley Plain over the back. Oh, beautiful football by Plain. He might end up with the ball again as he taps it on. Terry Danaher back in towards the pocket. The knockaway comes to Obst. Obst, further field to Stephen Stretch. He loves these long runs, and Stretch kicks long to the half-forward line. Campbell couldn't take the mark. Grabbed by Stephen O'Dwyer was good football. The long kick, will it bounce through? It floats to the line. Was it a goal? Yes! (2-2-14) Melbourne. Essendon 2-1-13.
And we're seeing a great example of Australian rules football here. The replay, Stephen Stretch long into the forward line. Good play by Hamilton to get back there and spoil. Big Steve O'Dwyer showing a lot of agility. A long kick from outside the 50-metre line. And Danaher just not able to get there.
That kick by O'Dwyer looked like a pass that went through for a goal, actually. Steins in ruck, comes out with clean possession. Long kick inside 50. O'Dwyer's there. Neil Danaher gave the hand pass away. Chance for Eishold. 30 metres out, Simon Eishold. Hooks it back, but not far enough. Just offline.
Big job for Neil Danaher, Peter, picking up the Melbourne ruckman there in the back pocket. O'Dwyer already has kicked one goal, but they have a distinct height advantage.
Well, it looked a miracle last year when Neil Danaher came back to play 4 games of league football. A couple of years ago, he was the runner for Kevin Sheedy. He was gone for all money after a couple of knee reconstructions. Brian Wilson goes back with the hand pass. Whistle's gone. Over the shoulder, it's a free kick to Wilson.
I see Greg Anderson's being picked up by Newport in a stopping role today. Derek kick it off.
Been replaced by Spawn.
Kick by Wilson, short of the goal square. O'Dwyer with the height there for Melbourne. Off hands to Eishold. Over the top with the hand pass. And the goal to Campbell. Melbourne starting to get value for their play now, leading by 8.
Looking very good, Melbourne, so far. They've had tremendous team play, backing up. They've done all the team things. They've shown plenty of endeavour, desperation. Good unselfish hand pass there from Eishold to Campbell, who is playing at centre half forward, and Melbourne looking very good so far.
Tony Campbell, although that was an easy goal, certainly gives you a lot of confidence if you can kick a goal early in the game when you're playing on the forward line. Well, certainly, as Bernie said, Melbourne have looked the better side so far. Ooh, a couple of boots in there. The tap from Tingay, the hand pass, back towards Yates. Yates, oh, he's run into heavy punishment there at half forward. And the umpire's finally found a free kick there to that to Graham Yates. The handball backwards to Stretch. Phoebe. Bumped by Long as he kicks it to half-back. And that is a very clever mark by Brian Wilson. A brilliant mark. Former Brownlow medalist. Now he's going short. He's got a loose man in O'Dwyer. Now, O'Dwyer to half-forward. His partner in crime, Steins. A brilliant attempt to mark. In fact, the umpire's paid it. And those big men of Melbourne, Bernie playing well.
Great agility. I see Jimmy Steins has now gone to centre half forward. Campbell to the pocket. and Steve O'Dwyer doing the ruck work.
Bennett trying to take the mark. It's Bradley playing out wide. Cransberg leads in the race against Phoebe. Oh, good pick-up by Cransberg for a tall player as he brings it around towards the half-forward line. Danny Hughes lumbers after the ball, and the ball beats him over the line.
What a game it's been. Started at a crackerjack pace. Just under 5.5 minutes to go to quarter time. O'Dwyer and Cransberg off the ground by Obst. Gains about 30 metres, but running out of room. Ball out of play, up short of half forward. Paul Hamilton there, defender for the Bombers. And the defence has been under the hammer in the opening 20 minutes of the game. Salmon and Steins. Salmon gets it to the back. It's well gathered there by Lovett. Forward pocket. Lovell. Good hand pass in. Lovett had followed up and kicks the goal.
Well, the Demons on fire. 4-3, 27 lead Essendon, 2-1, 13.
And showing signs of brilliant teamwork so far. There's Bennett. Looking for Bennett to kick down into the pocket. Lovell with the hand pass to Lovett, who followed up that kick. He was the player who originally kicked it to Bennett. And followed up a great hand pass there by Lovell. And their Melbourne players very happy the way they've teamed together so far.
Well, there's no doubt about Brett Lovett. I said earlier in the quarter, one of the best half-back flankers in the caper. And, well, he proved it then by following up his own good play. Now, here's Gary O'Donnell. Goes backwards. Was it Neil Danaher? It was that time, actually. He and Hamilton look very alike. Plain to Cransberg. Cransberg from centre wing. That's a long kick towards the half-forward flank area. The umpire's found a free kick. A little bit lucky to get that, Terry Danaher. He leaned in, or he might have been holding him. 50-metre line. Now, takes a good kick from the 50-metre line with the drop punt, but this man could do it. Fantastic player for many, many years for Essendon, Terry Danaher. From 52 metres, sets it up right in front of goal. Madden dragged off the ball, tapped through by Danny Hughes. And I don't think Madden will like that. He's going to remonstrate with the Melbourne player. Now he's dragged down by Stephen O'Dwyer. He doesn't want to do that too often. But I knew Madden wouldn't like that because he was dragged off the ball as he went for that mark. Look at his jumper. But he's remonstrating with the umpire. Danny Hughes from full back to the half-back line. Salmon takes front position. Spalding. Oh, that's a good mark by Paul Salmon to set himself in front of that pack.
Under plenty of pressure there too, Pete. And a couple of the Melbourne players tried to give him some treatment after he took that mark and went to the ground. One of them was Spalding.
Well, there's umpire Chris Mitchell having plenty to say. And a bit of pushing and shoving, nothing too serious, but Salmon is a greatly improved ruckman.
Well, I agree that they should get a bit upset over that too, because Salmon took the mark, and if we see Salmon go to the ground here after he's taken the mark, the Melbourne players definitely tried to give him a bit of treatment.
Well, Salmon's gone short to Danaher. That's good football. And Terry Danaher marks 40 metres out directly in front. So the Essendon champion, the chance to drag one back. They trail at the moment by 13 points. A chance to make it 7 as the kick from Danaher floats left slightly, but it might have just sneaked in for a goal. It did. (4-3) 27 Melbourne. Essendon come back 3-2 20.
And they badly need a goal to Essendon because Melbourne were controlling play so far in this first quarter, but we have the makings of a top match as Simon Madden is replaced. And he's been replaced by Brendan Moore, so Kevin Sheedy obviously not too happy with Simon Madden at the moment.
Back in the centre. Playing for Essendon, long sleeves. Drag to the ground, high tackle.
Very lucky to get the free kick because he ducked his head and the free kick should have gone the other way.
I think he should have been holding the ball. I agree with you, Bernie.
So Plain with a bit of fortune with the free kick from the centre circle. Melbourne leading by 7 points. 2.25 minutes left to quarter time. Vanderhaaf lies high. Punch down from the back by Lyon. Ball's knocked out. So Melbourne free kick. We come back to Lovett. kicked their last goal.
Against Terry Danaher for charging into his back. No, I think it was Van der Haar.
He goes with the hand pass. Very wide and a bit high. Might go straight out of bounds. Oh, didn't know his own strength. Phoebe couldn't gather it.
He was a bit stiff, Phoebe. He didn't get a... Normally the ball sits up when it bounces like that.
So that's a bit of a bonus for the Bombers. They have the throw in at left half forward. Van der Haar doing the rucking. There's Moore, who's just replaced Madden. Out to Manning. Lovett taps. Eishold gets it through the legs of Plain. O'Donnell there for Essendon. Plain gets a kick in up towards the 50-metre line. Lyon charges at it. Can't control. Anderson. Back to Neil Danaher. His hand pass is good to Long. He taps out to Spawn. Kieran Spawn inside 50. Goes long. But hooked the kick for a behind.
Very clever that Michael Long. Hasn't had a lot of touches so far in this first quarter, but every time he does something constructive. Danny Hughes, former Port Adelaide fullback. He's held that post at Melbourne for a number of years now. He's back in the side. Now, Melbourne through Phoebe. A long kick towards the half-forward line. This is Watson. Hotly pressing him as his former teammate Stephen Clark. A good tackle by Clark. And the umpire ruled that as holding the ball.
Good decision.
Was a good decision. Clark, short, looking for better, chipping across the front is Lovell. Onto the left foot, Andy Lovell. Kicks wide. And he should have a shot from there when you mark within distance, Bernie.
Wasted it completely.
The kick away out of defence. Comes to Manning. Manning a long hand pass out wide and he finds Buick.
Now the Bombers on the rebound. Short pass. Anderson couldn't gather. His hand passes back to Manning. Now it's Salmon. Salmon goes in short. And Danaher on the end of it again. Terry Danaher. Well, he played about 1 minute in the Foster's Cup. He attempted a very high mark and came down on his shoulder. So he was forced to miss the first 2 rounds through injury, Terry Danaher, the veteran. He's already kicked 1. Goes for number 2 from 45 metres. Great kick after the siren. And it levels the scores. Well, what a game we have. 4-3 apiece.
Yes, there's a lot of feeling in both camps down here. John Northey said that they must get in first and get the ball out of the centre, move it into the forward line and keep it open for Darren Bennett. And he really praised Stephen Newport on his job on Anderson. Kevin Sheedy, on the other hand, was a little upset with them. They were using and chipping the ball around too much. They've got to go long and direct. And he just reminded them that it's a different week altogether in football.
Bernie, do you think perhaps the Bombers are a bit lucky to get level?
Well, they were, because Melbourne were by far the better side. They just didn't make the most of their opportunity. It's good to see that Melbourne have really been manning up, and Michael Long with only 2 possessions.
Level pegging at quarter time as Watson takes it to half forward. Is that a mark? Umpire said no. Shuffled out to Buick. Buick to half forward. This is Graham Yates. Played a couple of seasons on the wing. Now he back where he started at Melbourne in the back pocket. Brett Lovett has been outstanding. Further afield to Stephen Tingay. Tingay to half forward, and Steins is playing well. To Stephen Clark, over to O'Dwyer. What's he going to do, the big man? From half forward, kicks it goal and cuts it through for his second.
Well, as I said earlier, Peter,
5-3 to 4-3. They lead by a goal, Melbourne.
as I said earlier, Melbourne have got the 2 big ruckmen who can match Essendon, and they're doing very well. Jimmy Steins, when he goes off the ball, either to full forward or the forward pocket. And Steve O'Dwyer's 2 goals have been a real bonus for Melbourne. That's great play by Melbourne. Jimmy Steins has got great skills for a big man.
O'Dwyer, the goal kicker, back to contest the centre bounce up. But Salmon beats him. Gets it down to O'Donnell, out to Spawn. Spawn goes wide with his pass for Anderson. Pressed by Spalding, who's been a top defender for Melbourne. Great play by Earl Spalding. Gathered the ball and gave off the hand pass. Phoebe up to half forward. Wilson Almost pushed into it by O'Donnell. Goes inside 50. Goes long with his kick. Oh, it was let go by Campbell, but went the wrong side of the post.
He could have marked it too.
In fact, there's no score. There was a shepherd out, a free kick here to Essendon. And it's coming back to Hamilton. Melbourne leading by a goal. Hamilton kicks in. Stones in front. Spawn a big climb. Well played by Clark against his old team. Sweeping hand pass puts his teammate under the hammer. Watson's back there. Good gather by the loping Tim Watson. And away he goes. Almost rugby tackle. Play on, says the umpire. The hand pass comes to Lovell. He's caught by Long. Watson again. Watson gets the hand pass away, but the whistle's gone.
In the back.
What great play, Bernie, by Brett Lovett.
Yes, magnificent tackle on Tim Watson.
This is Andy Lovell setting it up for Steins. Can he take another mark? No, he can't this time. The hand pass comes back to Neil Danaher. To Paul Salmon. To Spawn. Spawn knocks it on the centre wing. This is Kransberg. Kransberg to half forward. Lyon at the back. Good use of the body on Terry Danaher. Then does the defensive thing back towards the boundary line. Danny Hughes, you can bet he'll take this over. No, he doesn't. Brings it back into play. Bradley Plain back to Hughes. Hughes hooks it to the half-back line. He found Stephen Phoebe. Lucks a fortune. He'll claim in the showers after the game that was a good pass, of course. As Phoebe to centre wing. Is that a free kick to Salmon for pushing the back? Umpire right on the scene says yes, and that could be 50 metres for not handing the ball back.
Silly play there by Andrew Obst. The free kick against Steve O'Dwyer. Here's the free. O'Dwyer into the back of Paul Salmon. Andrew Obst took the ball and then gave it to Steve O'Dwyer, but the 50-metre penalty will bring Salmon within kicking distance, only 40 metres out, not on a difficult angle.
And the Melbourne members claim it's a 70-metre penalty as the umpire kept jogging.
They actually step it out though, Drew.
So the man on the mark is 35 metres from goal. And the former champion full forward shouldn't have much trouble with this, Paul Salmon. Straight through the middle. And the Bombers narrow the gap again. In fact, scores back level.
And I imagine the runner would be out having a word with Andrew Obst. After that 50-metre penalty puts Salmon to within 40 metres of the goals, and of course Salmon, who played at full forward and was leading the goal kicking until he injured his knee in '84, and he's a very good kick for goal, Paul Salmon. So Andrew Obst should be reprimanded by the coach.
5 goals, 3 apiece after an indiscretion that by Obst, and you just can't afford that in modern day football. A 50-metre penalty, big advantage to the opposition. There's Brett Lovett receiving the free kick onto Hughes. A booming kick. A 70-metre kick to half-forward. That could be a push in the back. Oh, boy, I thought it was against Danaher on Bennett. The umpire didn't pay it.
It's the same as the Salmon one.
I know, but it's down in front of goal, Drew. So it makes a big difference as we see Manning from centre wing. There he is again, Brett Lovett, who's been tremendous so far. Gee, you've got to earn him in front of goal, Bernie.
Yes, that's for sure, Pete. It did look like a nudge out.
It's Brendan Moore, who came on in replace Simon Madden during that first quarter. Moore to half forward. Tapped the ground. Stephen Clark's in there, former Bomber himself. It's at half forward for Essendon. Greg Anderson's been taken out of the game so far.
Their prime movers haven't been spotted, have they?
They
Anderson,
really haven't.
Long, and Tim Watson also has been
done
very
their
quiet.
homework well. There's Simon Madden on the bench. As a matter of fact, Peter Carey and Chris Mitchell, the umpires. O'Dwyer doing well in the ruck. Socket off the ground by Clark. It's a half-back for Melbourne. Brian Wilson, a quick kick to centre wing. Good agility shown there by Salmon. Long's there, and Gary O'Donnell. O'Donnell brings it to half-forward. And the ball is fisted back towards Steins. Steins over the top has found Wilson.
Hospital ball there for Brian Wilson. He couldn't go long, a great little hand pass, but it was intercepted. Pump forward for Melbourne. Here's Lovett on all fours. Van der Haar back there with him. Gee, look at the desperation here. And the umpire's going to have to ball this up.
Stephen Clark's having a red-hot go, Bernie.
Yeah, that's very tight in the clinches, isn't it? Neither side able to break loose there. And tremendous tackling by both sides.
Amazing playing against your former club. You've really got something to prove.
interesting how they want to be last up with the football for a ball up. You see, Clark wasn't going to give it up to O'Donnell. Huge pack around this outer wing. Salmon wins the tap beautifully to Michael Long. Long's left footed to half forward, all Melbourne. O'Dwyer takes the mark. Thought about playing on. Scores level here in the second quarter at the MCG. O'Dwyer, Watson got there. Oh, well played, Tim Watson. Almost running out of room. Hooks it up towards half forward. Comes off hands to Moore. High shoulders there with him, and another ball up.
Half forward for Essendon. They're certainly being put under a lot of pressure every time they go near the ball. The Melbourne players really are keyed up and tackling well. Scores are level. Melbourne have had their chances to be further in front. Essendon hanging in there. O'Dwyer doing well against Salmon. Now Stephen Clark with his great pace was grabbed when he didn't have it. That's good play, but it went straight to Watson. Watson a hurried kick to half forward. Manning in after it for the Bombers, the former St Kilda player. And players dragged off the ball, and the umpire said, oh, that's a very, very iffy free kick, that one. But it's been paid, and we'll go to Brendan Moore. He's at half forward for the Bombers. Now he's kicking it high. Hughes at the back. Didn't take the mark. Neil Danaher was there. Spalding's doing well in defence. A long kick to centre wing. One-on-one contest. Well done by Andrew Obst over the back. Mark Thompson's going to run into three Melbourne players. Obst in after it again. Shuffles it out to Lovett. That was good football. Lovett to Wilson. Wilson running around onto his right foot. Hooks it back to half forward. And Obst is down there now. Oh, that is good football by the South Australian. A poor kick though to half forward. Watson put under pressure by Campbell. Obst again. Beautiful play to Steins. Steins on to Lovell. Lovell straightens up and taps it through for a champagne football goal. That one. Well, Melbourne hit the front again. 6-3-39 to Essendon. 5-3-33. They lead by a goal.
Yes, that was great play by Melbourne. I particularly impressed there by Tony Campbell. He put a lot of pressure on Tim Watson. Good knock there to Jimmy Steins, and ends up with an easy goal to Lovell running into the goal. But they did all the hard work earlier with tremendous team play and backing up.
Andrew Obst was in that play about 3 times to set up that goal. It was brilliant. Plain gets the hand pass out. Forward go the Bombers. Hand pass to Anderson. Wouldn't bounce for him. Gets a kick away under pressure, but they're only 35 metres out from goal. Kransberg loses it to Steins. Here's Salmon for Essendon. Might have taken a high tackle. No whistle though. Gathered by Obst. Great play. He's kicked to half forward. Campbell knocks to the back. Great football. It comes to Clark. He's grabbed when he didn't have it. Free kick to Stephen Clark.
How did he get rid of it though, Drew? He was in possession of the ball. Did he handball it out, or did he throw it out in front of him?
I think there was no doubt about it. I think he just knocked it on, Bernie. He's quick.
Essendon lead by a goal, and Clark, kicking from just on 50 metres, can make it 2. Good distance. Great kick, but hits the post.
(6-4 to 5-3). They lead by 7 points, Melbourne. And Stephen Clark, one of the quickest players in the game. He'll be an acquisition to Melbourne. This is Manning receiving from Anthony Danaher. Now he runs to the half-back line. Kicks long. Neil Danaher marks on centre wing. Great to even see him playing the game still, Neil Danaher. Over to Thompson. A number of knee injuries. O'Donnell. Back to Anderson, who's been quiet. Greg Anderson centres it to half forward. Newport at the back. Sock it away. Out towards half-back line. Obst seems to be everywhere. He's covering that much territory. It's grabbed out there by Buick in front of the Melbourne member stand. Ducks back into the play. Wilson read it well. The hand pass was smothered. Newport brought the ground. Now Buick's brought the ground. The umpire said was holding the man. And Long gave Phoebe a little clip across the ear at half forward.
It's been a great exhibition of tackling from both sides so far.
This is a finals type atmosphere, finals type game. A shocking kick by Buick. As it comes to half forward, a chance for Neil Danaher. Lovely hand pass to Kransberg, an open goal, and Peter Kransberg has slammed it through. Essendon hit back. They only trail now by 1 point.
And Neil Danaher has been moved up on the forward line, playing either in the forward pocket or in the half-forward flank. I think Kevin Sheedy was a little bit worried about his lack of pace on the back line, but he did it very well there, spinning out the handball to Kranzberg, and Kranzberg making the most of that good play from Neil Danaher.
Great to see Neil Danaher in there giving the final hand pass. A 29-year-old with just 76 games. If he hadn't been injured, he'd be well over 200. Neil Danaher playing just his 5th game in 5 years. Wilson bursts out of the centre, shrugs the high tackle. Chance here, Clark marks. And Stephen Clark this time a bit closer than his last kick, which hit the post. This time he'll be kicking from inside 50. 1 point the margin, Melbourne in front. Clark would love a goal against his old team. Will it make it? Well, they flew everywhere, but it's a goal. Seven points the margin.
Yeah, it's a top game here at the MCG. The kick from Stephen Clark again from just inside the 50-metre line. Essendon players went everywhere. Maybe the goal umpire knocked him out of the way. Well, he's a handy player. Plenty of pace, Stephen Clark. His first goal, and Melbourne looking very good.
Well, this is a great game of football to watch. Goal for goal at the moment. Plenty of pressure. Anderson beautifully to Watson. Watson on the left foot, smothered by Denny Hughes. As O'Donnell goes in after it at the 50-metre line, hooks it back in front of goal. A one-on-one contest. It's back towards, played off the ground. Bradley played. Oh, what a brilliant goal. The player that Collingwood let go has brought Essendon closer. 7-3, 45 the Bombers. Melbourne 7-4, 46. 1 point the margin.
That's Bradley playing second goal. Again, great tackling there, set up by Michael Long, the leading tackler in the competition after the second round. The long kick into the forward line. Here's Bradley playing a real goal sneak, getting his foot on that one, not worrying about picking it up, kicking it off the ground. And an excellent goal for Essendon.
What a game we have at the MCG. This one comes to Manning. Back to Salmon. Short pass. Out in front of Terry Danaher. The hand pass goes back to Long. He's outside 50 metres. Michael Long balks to Danaher. Beats a tackle. Well played, Long. Into Salmon. Salmon dodges and weaves and goes long. Way off the side of his boot. Buick is there. One hand to it. And it's seen over the boundary line. Great desperation by Yates. And we'll have a throw in about 5 metres around from the behind post. What a game. Match of the days this season have been fizzes, really. This has lived up to everything. Hand pass is good to Phoebe. Comes out to Wilson. Wilson wide with his kick. Obst. Oh, gets rid of his opponent well. Andrew Obst has been sensational. Off the ground, into open space. More off the ground, too far. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Campbell. Leading is Bennett. Underneath the ball. At the back is Clark. Down he goes in the tackle. He was late, says the umpire, and the free is right in front.
Well, it was clever play by Clark, Bernie, because he did punch it on in front of himself.
That's twice he's done that. He got a free kick earlier. He knew he was about to be tackled. And just a very... Yes, it did handball that Pete, and then he was dragged down.
And Brendan Moore was the one who kicked out of bounds on the full and then gave away the free kick for the tackle, and Clark makes him pay for it. Again out to a lead of 7 points.
Yes, great teamwork by the Bombers. Stephen Clark kicking his second goal for the quarter and his second goal for the match. There's a hand pass out in front. Moore was committed. He had to go for that tackle. He wasn't sure whether the handball had been given out, but no doubt about that free kick. Stephen Clark making the most of it. Excellent kick for goal.
Well, this is goal for goal and a terrific exhibition of football. There's O'Dwyer doing well against Salmon. O'Donnell to Spalding. Spalding in after it again. Neil Danaher now. Wilson playing well to half forward. Clark. Oh, well done by Stephen Clark. No mark, the umpire said. Melbourne supporters not liking that. Mark Thompson Out wide, finds O'Brien. O'Brien short to Watson. Watson on centre wing, trying to get onto his left foot. Now he elects to hand pass. The man was covered. That wasn't good play by Tim Watson. And the free kick has been given away by Andrew Obst to Moore. Brendan Moore this is. Started on interchange. To half forward. Manning in front of the pack. Over the back is Anderson. Anderson, a quick kick at the goals. Madden traps it now. Can he get round Hughes? Dragged down. Did he have the ball? How will the umpire see it? Umpire calls play on. Bradley Plain, great tackle by Stretch. Anderson in after and it's forced to the line and over, and Simon Madden going mad at the umpire, claiming it should have been holding the man. A very, very grey area, that one. Was he in control or was he not? Simon Madden going now in to do the ruck work against O'Dwyer, who's been very impressive. Down the ground it goes, forward pocket, Gary Lyon in defence, runs to the boundary line, then chips it around. Further afield it comes to Tingay. Tingay received then from Brett Lovett, who was the man who took that mark. Clark ran into all sorts of trouble. Grabbed by Mark Thompson, who sends it forward again for the Bombers.
Spalding climbs high, but higher even is Stretch. And Stretch takes the mark of the match today. And the crowd reacts again as they watch it on the big colour scoreboard at the MCG. Up to the centre of the ground, fingertips to it, comes to the back. Moore sweeps the hand pass across to Thompson. He loses it in the tackle, but it was high, says the umpire, and he penalises Tony Campbell. Mark Thompson. Back to centre half forward. Anderson's had a tough time on Spalding. At the back, Yates. High kick. Van der Haar set underneath it. Oh, what a mark by Van der Haar! Turn back the clock 10 years. Great stuff. Great hand pass away too. And that's away towards O'Brien. In front of goals, Cransberg reads it. Slung off his kick. Plain! Can't take the mark. Yates is there. Running out of room and runs it through for a behind.
Ah, that was funny, I reckon, when Plain just chested Graham Yates. Yates came back at him. Nothing much in it, but quite humorous to watch from here. Danny Hughes, a great kick of a football from fullback. He's going straight up the centre. A high drop punt, travels about 60 metres. O'Dwyer trying to take that. Wilson's been a very good player. Kicks it to half forward. Campbell over the back of Steins. Let's see if the big man can control it. He can't. He's got backup support from Andy Lovell, who's caught. Could have been holding the ball. Van der Haar in after it. It's tapped backwards to Steins. Steins hand pass back over his head. Umpire now calling what? A throw.
Throw against Jimmy Steins, no doubt, Peter. No
Irish
doubt.
hand pass.
Yes, I think he did learn that one in Gaelic football. It's at half back, and the free kick will be with Mark Thompson, who's trying very, very desperately in defence, as he always does. Been a good player for Essendon. Off he goes. Thank goodness they've got rid of that rule where you're not allowed to hand pass from a free kick too, as the mark's taken by Salmon on centre wing.
And he feeds Neil Danaher. Pass is good. Oh, just had a little bit too much carry, but there was an over-the-shoulder tackle and some Bombers free kick right in front to Simon Madden. Well, he may not have expected that one as much as a couple of previous ones.
Let's have a look at that free kick against Danny Hughes there, putting the pressure on Simon Madden. Simon Madden has had only one kick up into this stage of the game, having sat on the bench for quite a bit of time.
Chance to level the scores again. Kick by Madden. Offline. Through for a behind. What a great game at the MCG. It's like finals time in April.
9 minutes of play left in this second quarter as Lyon receives that pass from Danny Hughes. Lyon, the centre wing kicker, is back on the ground. Seemed to get injured in that first quarter. This is Stretch to half forward. Steins, as Van der Haar went underneath it. That could have been a throw, that. Second throw in 2 minutes against Jimmy Steins. No doubt about that one.
It was a real Gaelic hand pass, that one.
Craig O'Brien, only a youngster, will take this kick. Back, I know Essendon have high hopes for this player. Oh, he kicked straight in the man, Andrew Obst. Now, here's Steins. He elected not to hand pass that time. To half forward, a chance now for Melbourne as Lovell goes in after it. Brought to ground. Did he have it? Umpire said he did. Calls play on. And now Chris Mitchell will come in and bounce.
This tackling today has been sensational from both sides.
They're two very, very good sides. Certainly going to play a big part in the finals this year, I would think. The ball at half forward for Melbourne. It's taken away by O'Brien. He had no one to kick it to. Now will it stay in? It does. He tried to put it to the line. Taken by O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer's that smothered off the boot. Grabbed by Neil Danaher. Danaher turns around, will feed it out wide on the right foot. He's looking there for Anderson. Spalding. Oh, good use of the body. Graham Yates tackled by Long. Play on, the umpire calls, and now he's going to come in, Peter Carey, and bounce it.
Michael Long, he's got claws like a lobster, Michael Long.
He hasn't had a lot of kicks himself, but gee, he does a lot of hard work off the play. 10 tackles after the first 2 rounds.
Chance here. Neil Danaher's looking a mighty player considering he's been out of the game so long. Off to Plain. Hooks it back to the goal square but won't make it. Oh, there's a mark. Manning. Tough angle for Andrew Manning. Goes for the short pass. Well, how could Salmon be unmarked in the goal square? And this should be a sitter.
Bad defence.
Well, the Melbourne players didn't work hard enough to get down in defence. Steve O'Dwyer is the player on the ball. He should have charged down to that back pocket area and made sure he picked up Paul Salmon.
Salmon's kicked 1. And now he's kicked 2, and the Bombers are in front by a point.
And that was a great mark by Andrew Manning, running with the flight of the ball over Danny Hughes. And as we watch Paul Salmon kicking his second goal for the match, has been a useful player in the ruck and very dangerous when he goes up on that forward line, because he's, with his height, he can take great marks, his accuracy. Bit of a mark across his neck there, so it's been a pretty torrid match for him so far.
John Northey on the phone, and would be a little bit concerned because they've had plenty of the play, Melbourne, and yet Essendon lead by a point. A very evenly contested match this, both with good rucks, both with a lot of skillful medium-sized play. There's Madden trying to crash his way through, and he ended up with a free kick out of that. Well, he's very lucky to get that. He just charged the Essendon player as he goes, the Melbourne player, as he goes short, and the mark has been taken by Gary Lyon. And Gary Lyon at half back. He went for the big booming torp, slightly off the side. That's nearly a mark that to Lovell. Umpire didn't think so. There's O'Dwyer to Newport, ridden into the ground. Newport again back to O'Dwyer, then Newport again. Van der Haar on the half-back line, might be brought down here. Quickly gets in the hand pass. Obbs tried to tap it on. Now it's Bradley Plain, who's improved out of sight. And I can't believe how Collingwood let this player go from Tony Elshaw, but he's proving a good player for Essendon. Half forward, O'Dwyer against Madden, and O'Dwyer is certainly under the coaching of former Hawthorn champion Don Scott. He and Steins really have improved in the ruck department. Here's Bennett, and the umpire's paying a free kick to Bennett, 45 metres out from goal.
Over the shoulder, he's indicating.
I tell you what, it was a bit ticky touch with Bernie.
Well, they don't usually play those in the full forwards either, Pete. They don't get looked after all that well.
No, it's good to see. Let's have a look at it in replay, Bernie.
Bennett out in front, Danaher behind. And maybe very lucky, I'd say, to get that free kick.
Was lucky. A long kick, Bennett, for his second goal. Will it float in? No, it drifts away. So bad luck to Bennett. And now the scores again are level. We're seeing a great exhibition of Australian rules football. Drew?
I'm surrounded by 2 full forwards who never got a free kick in their lives, did they?
Not many, Drew.
We both should have got more, Drew.
Anthony Danaher, beautiful kick of the football. 70 metres that one. Flips to the back, comes to Yates. Everybody's under pressure for getting a possession. Manning. He came into the Essendon side for the finals last year and started pretty well. Gave it away that time to Yates. Yates up towards inside half forward. Van der Haar takes an easy defensive mark. 53 points apiece with 4.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Kick by Van der Haar. Good mark in front to Steins. Now kick it, Jim. Don't hand pass. Hoisted up high. O'Dwyer or Bennett? O'Dwyer!
What a game he's playing.
Yes, he's been an excellent player, big Steve O'Dwyer. He's already kicked 2 goals. And under no pressure there, Simon Madden not getting back and manning up.
3 marks, 6 kicks and a hand pass to O'Dwyer, as well as 2 goals and hit outs as well. Right in front, 45 metres out. And that's number 3. Melbourne lead by that kick, 6 points.
And that was a great kick by Jimmy Steins, drifting across the pack, taking the mark, then delivering the ball into the centre half forward position where Steve O'Dwyer was unattended. Simon Madden had gone back further in defence. And there's Darren Berry elated at that goal from big Steve O'Dwyer.
The roars are for Rodney Grinter, who enters the scene. Tony Campbell off the ground. Bradley Plain from the centre, kicks it out wide. Michael Long after it. Stephen Clark, look at the pace of Clark. They're almost catching 2. To Mark Thompson. Mark Thompson around the outer winger. Courageous mark that by Tim Watson. He goes wide to Anderson, who's been fairly quiet. Anderson to kick it. Can't quite hold the mark. And it's taken away by Phoebe. A good attempt by Kickett. Not easy to take those running at full pace. And brilliant play a moment ago by Watson. Showed a lot of courage going for that mark. 1 goal the margin. Been nothing in this match right from the start. 50-metre line, Essendon forward zone. Steins against Madden. The ruck duels have been terrific to watch. Steins. That was Lovell. A quick kick. Over goes to O'Brien. O'Brien sets it up to centre half forward. A bit of pushing and shoving going on. Kickett at the back. Taps it on. Shoved out of the way, Derek Kickett, but he gets it to Plain. Plain showing terrific skill. Tapping it on. Kickett about to grab it. Has tapped straight over the line. And the Essendon players trying to claim deliberate by Danny Hughes. The umpire having none of that, and he'll throw it in 20 metres round from the behind post.
2.5 minutes to half time. Chance here for Essendon. Although it's out of there by Phoebe. Comes to Watson. He centres rather than going for goal. In front. Manning couldn't drag down the mark. Socket out of there by Hughes. Long charges at it. Can't mark. Chance for Obst. Goes past Moore. Back in the centre. Obst chases well and buries it. Play on, says the umpire. Long. Obst still in there. Now it's a push in the back to Michael Long.
That could be 50.
Yes, it is.
That is silly play by Melbourne.
Well, they gave away a goal earlier with a 50-metre penalty.
They're about to give another one away, I think.
Well, the last one was given away on the wing, and the player kicked for goal from inside 50, and this is the same scenario. Man on the mark is about 40 metres from goal. Michael Long. 3 kicks, 5 hand passes, reasonably quiet. Offline for a behind. 5 points the difference.
An exciting player, Michael Long. Very modest young footballer, blessed with tremendous skills. Danny Hughes to the half-back line. Steins and O'Dwyer have been fantastic for Melbourne. Over the top to Lovett. He's also been an excellent player. Further afield to Tingay. Tingay to half forward. Bennett couldn't quite hold it. Gets it back to Lovell. He shuffles it out wide. Look at the pace of Stephen Clark. Comes inside. Lovell. Intelligent play to Bennett. And the umpire calls play on. Now he either didn't mark it or it didn't cover the required distance. Let's see what Chris Mitchell says. And Bennett's not arguing. See if he marked it, Bernie.
Well, it may have been touched off the boot, Pete. It seemed to fall short there.
I don't think it went the required distance. That might have been what it was. Lovell. High shoulder. Obst, the base of the pack.
He's a very impressive player, Andrew Obst.
A bounce with 30 seconds to go before half-time. Melbourne leads by 5 points, and the bounce in their forwards area.
20 seconds left to half-time. Here's Obst from a famous footballing family in Adelaide, but Essendon get it out. Have they got time to get a goal? Michael Long goes for a sprint. Goes long up towards the 50-metre line. Salmon pulled off it by Hughes. Salmon after it again. Time just about out. 7 seconds left. Over the top it goes. Was Madden, rather. Kick by Kickett is out of bounds on the full. And they're out of time. Half-time at the MCG, and it's a 5-point lead to Melbourne. 9-5-59 to 8 goals, 6-54. Well, we're looking at the ruckman here, and what a part they've played. Steins and O'Dwyer for Melbourne, and Salmon and Madden for Essendon. Madden did spend some time on the bench, but O'Dwyer's 3 goals have been a bit of a clincher.
Yes, it's been the game of the season so far as I'm concerned. Paul Salmon there working off the ground. Danny Hughes has been excellent in defence, but the key to this match so far, Watson, Long and Anderson haven't had any influence on the game whatsoever.
So the scores here at half-time, they'll come out in about 15 minutes' time and virtually start again. It's a kick the difference. Melbourne 9-5-59, Essendon 8-6-54. A thriller at the MCG, scores level at quarter time and Melbourne leading by 5 points at half time. It was a case of which team would crack. We pick it up at the opening bounce to start the second half. It's a 5-point lead to Melbourne going into the second half. Salmon against O'Dwyer. Salmon wins. Long gets a good bounce, bit slow that time, Michael Long, and caught from behind by Clark. Eishold out to Tingay, onto Hughes well up the ground. Long and high to full forward. Bennett, good mark.
Yes, that was a great mark by Darren Bennett. Very tall player, 6'5", in front, had the right position, a bit of bustling, timed his leap perfectly.
So Darren Bennett, who kicked 8 and 8 in the first 2 rounds, so far has 1 goal 2 from the first half. Distance not a problem for this long kicking full forward. He needs the accuracy. Oh, that's beautiful. The margin skips out to 11 points.
And they need Bennett playing well, Melbourne. Here's that mark again. 6'5". He didn't have the run on the ball. It was man on man. A great leap there by Bennett, and strong hands taking that mark, and there's that kick from 50 metres out, made the distance easily, went through at goalpost height. So that's Bennett's 2nd goal. He's been a good contributor.
That's exactly how John Northey would have wanted his side to start this quarter. Really lifts the side when you get a quick one like that. Here they come again. That's Stephen Clark going forward with great pace. Here's a chance now for Andrew Obbs, who's been very, very impressive. To half forward, and Wilson. Oh, courage by Wilson to Eishold. Eishold straightens up and pops through another one to the Demons. Well, what a start by Melbourne. 11-5-71. They lead Essendon 8-6-54.
Yes, it has been a great start by Melbourne. 2 very quick goals. Courage, as Peter McKenna called by Brian Wilson there, under heavy pressure. Could have been a free kick had not Eishold kicked that goal to Wilson, because Van der Haar tackled him very hard. But Eishold finishing off, a good kick for goal, and Melbourne winning the ball out of the centre.
The Demons 2 goals in the opening 2 minutes of the 3rd quarter. O'Dwyer palms down. Eishold missed it with a slap. Salmon, well done. Oh, beautiful play by Paul Salmon. Plain was in front, might have taken that mark. Pressure from Stretch. Plain gets the hand pass away. Spawn taps back to Plain, which probably wasn't the right option. Yates is there, over the top of the ball to force the ball up.
Too fancy.
Well, they probably were a bit fancy, but I think the pressure that Melbourne's been applying may be telling against some of the Essendon players, because they have not been given a moment's breathing space.
Chance for the Bombers, 35 metres out. Stephen Clark. Hustle to the boundary line. And a boundary throw in. Vanderhaar in ruck against O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer to Spalding. Eishold. Good little hand pass. Newport kept the ball in front of him. Oh, Long, what a trap. Michael Long, brilliant. The short pass didn't come off, though, and Spalding wins again. Spalding's kick to centre wing. Obst. Well, he is doing really well. 2 marks, 13 possessions. Obst up to half forward. Hamilton in front, takes a safe mark.
Oh, good mark too by Paul Hamilton. Now he's got a loose man in the centre. Oh, nearly smothered them by Eishold. Still the chances with Spawn. Spawn a bounce. Lovell's after him. Spawn wide. Finds Anderson. Seems to be playing at centre forward at the moment. He goes short. Back to the centre. He's found Anthony Danaher. He's a long way out from full back. Danaher going short again. The leader's on to his brother Terry. It's a loose ball with Spalding. Lovett makes position out wide for the short one. Spalding elects to go long. Back to centre wing, and there's Anthony Danaher right up there on wing. Over to Watson. Tim Watson. Long to the pocket. At the back is Buick. Manning is there going for the mark. There's Yates. That Melbourne defence has been excellent today. Steins against Salmon, and you've got a hand at the Salmon. He is a much improved player. Trying his heart out, Salmon. The short one to Buick in the forward pocket. Buick in after it again with his pace, but he's under pressure. Out it comes to Spawn. Spawn from 30 metres straightens up and puts it out of bounds on the full.
Well, it hasn't been a great day for Kieran Spawn. 5 kicks and 1 hand pass. And 1 behind and 1 out of bounds. Stretch. Raking kick out of defence. Oh, good mark in the middle of the pack by O'Dwyer. A clean capture. Straubs O'Dwyer has played his heart out today. Over centre wing it goes. Knocked on. Good gather by Thompson. And a great hand pass out. Manning. Wide he goes to Hamilton. He centres it towards centre half forward. Obst again.
Well, Salmon shouldn't have had a look around there. He should have went for the ball instead of waiting to see what was going to happen.
Obst goes across the ground. Finds Phoebe. High and long to half forward. Big pack gathers. Lovett couldn't drag down the mark. Solid tackle applied, but it was high. An Essendon free kick. And this is coming back to Thompson.
Mark Thompson has really battled hard in defence all day. That kick to the half-forward line. Plain in after it. No backup support. Now he has from Manning. Manning goes short. A widely directed pass to Brian Wilson, who's played a great game. Over to Phoebe. Phoebe wide. He's looking out there for Lovell. Oh, good play by Andy Lovell. Runs to the 50-metre line. The short pass is on, and that is beautiful football. The lead by Bennett, hitting him right on the chest.
Yes, great play by Lovell, getting away there from Timmy Watson under a lot of pressure. And there's a perfect delivery into a wide open forward line.
He could make the big difference to Melbourne, whether they could really go on with it this year, Bennett. He's kicked 2. He'll kick from 30 metres. Straightens up and puts it right through the middle. Melbourne move further in front. 12-5-77. The Demons lead Essendon 8-6-54.
Well, he is kicking much better this year, Darren Bennett. Last season he missed those shots at goal from around that 25-30 metre range. He's a very good kick from about the 50-metre mark, because he kicks right through the ball. But on that occasion, making no mistake, and their vital goals make a lot of difference to the Melbourne side.
Simon Madden back on for the Bombers, straight to full forward, playing on Hughes, playing off the ground.
Why would you take Bradley Plain off? He's trying his heart off out up forward.
He hasn't sat down yet. They might sort out positions around the ground. He might be back on in a minute for somebody else. Actually, Manning won that out of the middle for the Bombers. Neil Danaher overruns. Phoebe is there. And now the whistle goes for a ball up. Playing with 9 kicks and 4 hand passes and 2 goals. Now he's sat down on the bench. Wilson. Big punch away. Here's Tim Watson for the Bombers. Fires out the hand pass to O'Donnell. Further afield he goes. Kransberg in. O'Donnell followed up. Kick smothered. O'Dwyer doing the hard work again. Gets the ball out to Yates. O'Dwyer, the hero of the MCG today. But Van der Haar takes the mark on centre wing.
Paul Van der Haar playing at centre half back. On the left foot looking for Salmon. Salmon will mark on centre. Well, getting further towards the centre. Chip pass. Finds Kransberg. A long kick normally, Peter Kransberg. Now he's going with a long one too from 60 metres. A low trajectory drop punt to the pocket. That's clever play. Very good use of the body that by Andrew Manning. He just leant into his opponent, Graham Yates. Or was it Brett Lovett? It might have been Lovett, in fact, in front. Just leant, a little push, in fact. Just
a little nudge there, Pete.
And as I said, Bradley Plain, I was surprised he's off. He's coming back on as Manning kicks it goal and pops it through for one for the Bombers.
£17 points the margin.
And it's been a good quarter so far for Melbourne, and a badly needed goal there for Essendon. Bradley Plain back on the ground. Let's have a look at this replay. The long kick by Kransberg, and Manning in perfect position there. Just leant against Brett Lovett just to hold him up, and then went back to take the mark.
Bradley Plain is back on. Neil Danaher off the ground. Free kick here to Kransberg. Kransberg a long kick. Terry Danaher in front. Knocked away by Lyon. Goes to Yates. Wide to Phoebe. Phoebe off the left boot. Close to the boundary line. Too high for Obst. The ball has gone out off Campbell now. And it'll be a throw-in.
Centre wing is with Watson for Essendon. Eishold hotly pressing him. Eishold in after it. Taps it back to O'Brien. Oh, a lot of pressure on there. This is kicked by Newport right out towards the boundary line. And in fact over. There's Tony Campbell. Hasn't had a lot to do so far. The ruck duels have been fascinating. Here they go again. Steins. Eventually they'd lose it out there to O'Donnell, but those Essendon players not getting any easy kicks against the Melbourne pressure. And Brian Wilson, we saw on screen a moment ago, has been a terrific player for the Demons. There's Salmon tapping it out to Wilson for Melbourne. In fact, Wilson smothered off his boot as it comes back to, he just about threw that away, Salmon. And I think the umpire said exactly that. It will be a free kick going the way of Melbourne to Andrew Obst. No, it's not. It's going further afield to Brian Wilson for that throw. Wilson. 10 kicks and 5 handballs, and well, he's done a lot of the hard things. Wilson up in front of goal. Can they take another mark? It's tapped to ground. This is Paul Hamilton crashing his way through. A long hand pass out wide, and he's found Kieran Spawn.
Spawn goes for the short pass to Plain. He was only benched for about 90 seconds. Hobbs taps away. Comes to Yates. Yates over the top. Stretch. Cornered. Has to go back to Yates. Now Melbourne being put under some pressure. Yates to Steins. Steins a bit of fancy footwork. To half forward. O'Dwyer tried to tap on, but Clark stayed down and took the mark. In he goes to Tingay. Further afield to Lovett. Lovett gets through the pack. Back to Newport. And Newport's kick is good. What a quarter the Demons are having. 13-5 to 9-6.
Yes, it's been a great quarter of football for Melbourne, ending off with Stephen Newport kicking his first goal. They've been prepared to handball, and the running players have supported each other. Not a good hand pass there, but Lovett getting the quick hand pass to Newport. Good chasing and tackling by Paul Salmon, but a kick from Newport sailing through.
The margin out to 23 points, and we must say that Melbourne has looked the better side all day. As Eishold grabs it out of the centre, they go forward again. Here's Van der Haar. Good mark. dodges and weaves, and he might be brought down by Bennett. A push in the back, so it'll come back to centre half back area. And they're playing that up the ground. Now, he was pushed as he kicked.
Yep,
that
definitely.
kick should have gone back to centre half back. Bad umpiring decision as we see it coming up towards Steins for Melbourne. He shuffles it out to Gary Lyon. Lovely chip pass over to Campbell from Lyon, and the Melbourne supporters roar when Tony Campbell gets it. He kicks it to half-forward straight to Manahoe, having a pretty good quarter for the Bombers. Now, he was about to give it out wide to Brendan Moore, then elects to give a hand pass. This could be doubtful. This Anthony Danaher put under enormous pressure by that hand pass. Salmon is there. He must be getting pretty tired. There's O'Brien out to Salmon and Buick. Buick gets around his teammate, hooks it back to Watson. They need someone to really spark the Essendon at the moment. Watson, a lovely pass, finds O'Donnell, the centre of the ground, another chip pass. It's a shocker this time. Was intended for Madden and went straight to Steins.
Steins across the ground. Yates sees Lovett on his own. In he goes to Tingay. Unmarked further afield is Lovell, but the gap is closing. Well, Lovell beats Moore to it. Just outside 50. Short passes, too short. Eishold dispossessed. But a push in the back. And it's a free kick to Mark Thompson.
Well, Melbourne should have got that ball to Lovell much earlier. They eventually tried to hand pass it to him, but the option earlier would have got the ball to him when he was unattended.
Melbourne leading by 23 points midway through the third quarter. And a mark here to Lovett.
Good courageous mark too, Lovett, backing back.
He's a fantastic player. Lovett.
On his own is Yates. Now he can run right in here and go for goal from about 40 metres out. Near the boundary line, does the right thing and centres. Punch to ground. Obst is there. O'Dwyer fighting hard again. Melbourne losing ground, but they've got the ball. Campbell over his shoulder, but dropping back in the goal square, the mark taken by Brendan Moore, who bounces out of defence. Too slow! Great chase by the Melbourne forward. That was Obst again. Brilliant football, but it's an Essendon free, quickly taken by Manning.
Over to O'Donnell. O'Donnell wide. That is a beautifully placed kick to Buick. He's got a loose man in spawn if he can get away. He elects to give the hand pass to O'Brien. O'Brien, the long kick to half forward. Madden cleverly gets it out to Spawn. Can't get the bounce of the ball, so he goes and gets it himself. Madden to Plain. Plain hipped out of it by Stretch with good strength. Long kick to Brett Lovett. They've got loose men everywhere, this Melbourne side. Back up support from Wilson. Goes inside to Lovett. Lovett should have gone over the top to Spalding. Elects to kick long, and that wasn't good play, but the bounce favoured Lovell. Then on to Eishold. Eishold to the half-forward line. Hamilton against Campbell. Paul Hamilton with a little bit too much pace gets away. That was good play by Paul Hamilton. Dragged when he didn't have it, and he will take the free kick. And they're paying the advantage to O'Brien, to Spawn. Now a chance for the Bombers, but there's no one moving. No one on the floor. Now they are. Terry Danaher leads out and takes the mark 40 metres out from goal, 45-degree angle. And they really need one here, Bernie.
Yes, in desperate need of a goal, Essendon. They've chased Melbourne numbers all day long. The Melbourne support for each other has been amazing today. They're tackling. We've seen a very competitive Melbourne side today. 5
kicks, 5 marks, and 4 hand passes to Terry Danaher. He's kicked 2. And over the years has been a pretty reliable goal kicker. If ever they needed one, it's now, as he kicks it slightly across the face. Madden is there. He can't take the mark and it's tapped through for a behind to the Bombers. So they sneak a little closer. They're on 9-7. Melbourne on 13-5. Great performance this by the Demons so far.
Kick in by Hughes. Lovett has been magnificent. Takes his 8th mark. And what a kick to Obst. Obst on the rung on centre wing. O'Dwyer crashing between 2 of them. Couldn't quite take the mark. Van der Haar paddles backwards to Thompson. Great hand pass by him to Long. Long over the top. A floater to O'Donnell. Buick. Cransberg. Thought about Watson and then kicked wide to Anderson, who's given Spalding the slip for one of the few times. Kick well smothered by Steins. Spalding helps it back to Steins. Well, it looked like a certain goal or a contest in the goal square, and now Melbourne have it. Centre wing, and Eichhold holds up play.
Oh, that was great play by big Jimmy Steins there, the smother.
Eichhold's kick to half forward. Wilson leading. 60 metres from goal on the boundary line. Bennett one out with Anthony Danaher in the goal square. He's trying to offer a lead. O'Dwyer's there as well. Wilson needs a long kick in the direction of O'Dwyer. Almost. Melbourne at ground level. Tingay lost his footing. Spawn's there to help out for the Bombers. He drops it in the tackle, red hot.
Great play by Melbourne. This is tremendous pressure football, Peter.
And having a bad day, Kieran Spawn, he can't do a thing right.
It's just amazing the Essendon players just haven't been able to get out on their own. The tackling from Melbourne has been, there it is, a free kick. Spawn just let it go. And the free kick to Lovell in front of goal.
His name's Anthony, everyone calls him Andy. Lovell, former Tasmanian, right in front, 35 metres out, kicks the goal. His second. It's been a huge quarter for the Demons, 89 to 61.
Yes, a six-goal quarter so far for Melbourne. And look at that kicking, 14-5. Their accuracy's been great today. There's the free kick as we look at it again. A great tackle by Lovell. The Melbourne tackling has been amazing all day. They haven't given Essendon any breathing space, and Lovell making the most of that with that kick from 30 metres out.
Lovell has kicked 2, O'Dwyer 3, Bennett has kicked 3, and Stephen Clark 2, and they've had 3 or 4 players kick singles. 14-5 to 9-7, very impressive. And that big man strength, there's one of them, Steins, that certainly helps them. Melbourne, O'Donnell, could have been 50 metres then. Gary O'Donnell, oh, good play by Bennett, will chase after him hard. This is Mark Thompson. Caught, that's holding the ball.
Yes, definitely.
And Lovell again with terrific tackling. Bradley playing off the ground. Derek kick it on.
And Peter, good to see big Darren Bennett running down from full forward to apply tackles as well.
Terrific play. This is Newport at half forward. And another one here would make it hard for Essendon. Big O'Dwyer going back against Madden. Stephen Newport wanting someone to move to one of those spaces. And he's electing now to go the long kick. The drop punt will land it right up in the goal square. Where's O'Dwyer? There he is, centre of the pack. Tapped the ground. Kicked away by Craig O'Brien out towards the half-back line. Michael Long after it. Simon O'Sholl beats him to it, and the ball is taken over the line about 60 metres around from goal. It's hardly had a weak link. Melbourne have all contributed. O'Dwyer against Madden. Madden taps it down. This is Kickett. Derek Kickett to the centre of the ground. Kransberg hugs it to his chest and takes a good mark.
Kransberg gets a good run from Thompson. Thompson off the left boot, steers it for Salmon. That's what he used to look like when he was a full forward and kicked 63 goals in 13 rounds before his knee injury.
They are a better side when he's down there at full forward, Drew.
Trouble is they need him in the ruck as well, don't they?
Well, they have got Simon Madden, of course.
Paul Salmon has kicked 2, both in the second quarter. Gee, the Bombers need this. Magnificent kick, but a poster. (14-5 to 9 goals 8). And in this quarter, Essendon have kicked just 1-2, and Melbourne have added 5 goals straight.
Gary Lyne straight up the centre. Madden and Anderson competing against each other. A hand pass from Melbourne player Wilson went straight to O'Donnell for Essendon, out towards Buick. The bounce beats him and it's grabbed by Stretch. Stretch cleverly round the boundary line, just where he intended that ball to go, and puts it over the line, almost on centre wing.
That's been a good move by Melbourne, playing Stretch in the back line, because he does provide a lot of run out of there with his long kicking.
Winter on, getting the roars of the Melbourne supporters. Tony Campbell off. Oh, Madden, a clever hit out to Manning. Manning looking for the hand pass. He's found Kickett. Now will it sit for him? Now he's got a Derek Kickett onto the right foot. Sets it up in front of goal. The height is there of Salmon over the back. Danny Hughes is there. He's got backup support from Lyon. Beautiful defensive play by Melbourne. The chip pass finds Lovett, nearly the best man on the ground. Lovett, the centre wing kicker, takes a position in front, and a good mark by Derek Kickett. The hand pass to Danaher, who was caught. Over to Watson, off the ground to half forward. Here's Michael Long. Let's see what he can do with it. Oh, look at that. Great play, Michael Long. Then a little chip pass. Terrific play by Stretch. Right out wide to the boundary line. Here's Watson, hooking it back to the pocket. And that could be no, it was out of bounds, in fact, around near that where Tim Watson is. So it'll be a throw-in.
Well, this one really important for Melbourne. They're playing it like a grand final. They've beaten the Bombers just once in their last 10 meetings, and they need to score wins against these top teams, give themselves the double chance and the confidence when they go into the finals. Melbourne have been finalists the last 3 years, made the grand final 2 years ago, but they might really become a top contender, and if they win here today, they'll be outright leaders, a game clear of the competition. Socket forward into open spaces. Here's Yates, who with Lovett has been a top defender. Oh, what a mark by Moore. A beauty. Out to Thompson. Back he goes. Madden in trouble to Thompson. Wide for Vanderhaar. Look out, here comes Obst. Good tackling by Obst. Sensational tackling by the team.
That was great play by Obst. And Vanderhaar just tried to do too much.
Obst, man unmarked. Wilson marks 25 metres from goal.
And to make matters worse, Vanderhaar's injured behind play.
Looks as though he might have twisted his left knee or something in that one.
It was a very bad play, though, wasn't it? That he should have just kicked it out of defence.
Well, he got around once, didn't he? Then he just tried to do too much.
I think you can do that when you're 19 years of age, Bernie.
Yeah, well, what's Vanderhaar, 32 now?
Brian Wilson going for goal number 1 for him. Disappointing from there. But boy, it's a handy lead, isn't it?
Vanderhaar coming
points.
off, Drew, and Bradley Plain coming on.
Terry Danaher now at fullback. Anthony Danaher has been moved from that position, obviously. Can't get his boot to ball. Here come Melbourne again. Grinter, a quick kick. Up in front of goal, punched away by O'Brien. Grabbed by Steins. Steins hooks it back and has missed. The crowd really started to roar then.
They're looking very rattled at the moment, Essendon. Making a lot of changes is Kevin Sheedy.
I don't think some of the Essendon players know where they are, but they've been outplayed today. Oh, that is a very, very good mark by Andrew Obst. In front of the Melbourne members stand. They roar, and no wonder that was a top mark.
In front of big Simon Madden, who showed a little bit of frustration there.
Obst has been a very good player today as he sets it up in front of goal. Oh, nearly a mark taken up there too for the Demons. Steins was the flyer. There's Lovell shuffling it out to Stephen Clark. Clark on the left foot. He might have kicked another one. He has. 15-7 the Demons. A great performance leading the Bombers 9-8.
Yes, it's been a great quarter of football by the Demons. 7 goals won so far for the quarter. And as we see this replay, and Melbourne's pressure has been amazing all day long, shuffling the ball out there, finishing off with Stephen Clark, who kicks his 3rd goal.
Six goals to 1 in this 3rd quarter. Under 2.5 minutes remaining. Out of the middle, a lucky kick on the chest of Lovell. He goes wide. Newport kept his eyes on the ball but got barreled. Comes to Spawn, off to Thompson. Essendon need a goal or 2 perhaps before the break. Hand pass by Plain is blocked by Stretch. Ground level again. Lovett in the back. Free kick.
Well played, Lovett.
Best man in the ground in my book.
Nine marks, 7 kicks and 13 handballs make it 8 kicks. But not a good one this time. And that's a free kick in the back to kick it. He wants to go on quickly. Anthony Danaher well up the ground. Now Kickett has tripped the Melbourne player and the kick's been reversed. It comes back to Phoebe.
Gee, that's a waste.
Well, it's not their day, Essendon. Phoebe to half forward. Steins cleverly over to Lovell. Lovell onto the left foot. An open goal. Kicks it. It's another one to the Demons. Great football. He's kicked 3, Andy Lovell. Melbourne move on to 16-7. 103 and a great quarter of football against the Bombers. 9-8-62.
Well, it was a very tight first half of football, and it was just a matter of who cracked in this second half, and Melbourne's been the side that's maintained the pressure. Essendon have cracked. They've made plenty of positional changes as Lovell puts that one through on his left boot, and he has been a great contributor for Melbourne, both tackling and in his forward work as well.
What a barnstorming quarter by the Demons. Madden wins in the middle this time. It's overrun by Kickett. Eichel gets it out to Spalding. Couldn't quite grab it. Comes to Spawn. Anthony Danaher on the forward line for the Bombers with a kick astray and the mark taken by Yates. And Yates has had 19 possessions now, and that was his third mark. Over the top to Stretch. Unmarked as O'Dwyer, centre wing. Plenty of space. He goes back, looking for a long kick. Spalding. Well, he picked him out, O'Dwyer, and found him easily.
Some of those Essendon players look exhausted.
Kick by Spalding is a boomer to the edge of the goal square. Bennett having a wrestle and takes the mark.
That's a great mark by Darren Bennett, using his body well against Terry Danaher. Good strength there, both players battling each other, and Bennett just with the greater strength and better positioning.
Well, Bennett's kicked 3 goals too. And that's 4. And he joins the leading goal kickers with Tony Lockett, 20 for the season.
And Bennett's kicked 3 goals in this quarter, more importantly, when Melbourne have dashed away. There's Shooty on the boundary line, not looking too happy with proceedings. Having a look at that mark again, Bennett, an excellent mark there to Bennett, great strength, and kicking much better for goal this season as well.
John Northey will be a very happy man. This is a brilliant exhibition of football by Melbourne. Approaching three-quarter time, the bounce of the ball, siren about to go any second. Buick brought down by Clark has been a star. There's the siren. The Melbourne supporters absolutely delighted with this exhibition. They lead three-quarter time here at the MCG. 17-7, 109 to Essendon, 9-8, 62.
Umpire Peter Carey in charge today with Chris Mitchell. And as far as players are concerned, they'd be looking for finals experience, but umpires as well, no doubt. Final quarter about to get underway. A 47-point lead to Melbourne after their brilliant third term. They led by just 5 points at half-time. O'Dwyer brilliant again. Anthony Danaher back in defence, but further up the ground now. The kick inside, half forward. Punch away by Lyon. Lovett has been superb. Great hand pass to Eichel. Running off him is Spalding. O'Dwyer, good hands. Great running by Melbourne. Tingay, long and high kick inside, half forward. All Essendon. Terry Danaher drops the mark. Grinter hasn't seen much of the play today, and this time he's holding the ball.
Good tackle that by Terry Danaher. Off he goes. Kickett slips over, but punches it on. Good play by Derek Kickett to allow Michael Long to come in and kick it out to the pocket, but Madden shouldn't have to do all the leading. And the short chip comes over to Long, then to Madden, originally from Buick, up towards full forward. Spalding's been superb in defence. Well, that sets it up for Lyon. Lyon taps it away, then on to Stretch, and Stretch in turn over the line.
Not a good hand pass there by Spalding. So many players, when they do hand pass, they stay flat-footed instead of being prepared to back up and assist if the hand pass isn't excellent.
O'Dwyer against Madden. Ruck contests have been intriguing today. Kicked off the ground by Phoebe. Oh, beautifully picked up by Anthony Danaher. He runs to 50 metres and kicks long up towards Buick, but Graham Yates just stood his ground, reached over the top of him and took a very solid mark in that last line of defence.
Kicked by Yates. O'Dwyer's the only chance for Melbourne here. He's outnumbered 2-1. There's going to be a free kick to Essendon. Advantage played to Kickett. Kickett goes for goal, and it just floats across for a behind. O'Dwyer was into the back of Michael Long, but the advantage free kick went to Kickett. Well, it was the first score to the Bombers, but they wanted a goal.
And Derek Kickett could have hand passed inside then to Neil Danaher. Spalding round the Melbourne members wing. Well, that could have been a free kick down the ground. Silly play by Greg Anderson. Very late on the scene, and the umpire picked it. Peter Carey having a word to Anderson, who's had a frustrating day. This is Andy Lovell from centre wing. They look fresh and they look keen. There's Bennett trying to tap it over to Stynes. Will it sit for him? Stynes off the ground, a soccer goal, a ripper. Melbourne can do no wrong. 18-7, brilliant goal to Stynes. Essendon 9-9.
He's a great player, Jimmy Stynes. Have a look at this in the replay. Darren Bennett, good play. Didn't go for the mark, just knocked it back over his head. And Jimmy Stynes showing some soccer skills there, which he would have gained from playing Gaelic football with kicking the ball off the ground. Great pace and a great goal.
Huge lead now to Melbourne after they got the first goal of the last quarter. Lovett again, goes to ground this time. Tapped out by O'Brien to Manning. Just gets past the tackle. Off to Spawn. In he goes to Watson, who lollops to the 50. Pumps it high. Nobody there for the Bombers. Yates is back there for Melbourne to take the defensive mark. Yates, short pass into Stretch. All these Melbourne defenders have done a brilliant job today. Stretch, a raking kick to centre wing. Brinter is there. It comes off hands to O'Dwyer so easily. O'Dwyer goes long to full forward. Bennett is there. Thumps it to the back. But it's all Essendon, taken by Thompson. Anthony Danaher now out at centre half back. He's going to be caught here from behind. Good chase by Clark. Back to Moore. No distance in the kick. High to Watson on centre wing, but a fine mark by the skipper. Quickly off to Anthony Danaher.
Oh, Danaher sets up his teammate Spawn, who's brought to ground by Stretch. Quick hand pass, comes to Long. Long from 55 metres to Buick. Over the back is Yates, who has really played a brilliant game in that back pocket. He keeps it in play, though. That allows Buick to get it. Smothered by Yates, but in the meantime, around the umpire said that ball had trickled across the line, and he will throw it in. And what a shame, because that was terrific play by Yates. You can see the wry grin on his face as he thought he got himself into trouble there. 18-7 plays 9-9. Danny Hughes, look at that punch. 35-metre punch around to the half-back line, where it's taken by Newport to centre wing, and a courageous mark and a strong mark taken by Greg Anderson, who's been fairly quiet. Kicks to the centre of the ground. Oh, Kransberg was off before he took it. Dropped the sitter. Bad bounce to Moore. That'll be a free kick to Stephen Clark, who's been a tremendous acquisition. They'll have to go back behind the mark. What an acquisition for Melbourne. Clark with his pace. He was grabbed when he didn't have it. Oh, it
Made the umpire
staged a little bit.
See it more than what it was.
Mark Thompson, wide to Manning. Punched away by Phoebe, was good football. Phoebe, wow, that is terrific football by Stephen Phoebe to kick it out to the wing, and he gets the plaudits of the whole crowd.
Oh, just brilliant play. Hard to find a weakness in the Melbourne lineup. They are killing Essendon. Salmon and Stynes helped up the ground by Long. Watson going defensively on the turn, pokes it over the top. Here comes O'Dwyer. Look out. Oh, he did well. Big Steve O'Dwyer out to Phoebe. The kick to half forward. Defensive mark to Anthony Danaher. He's looking to go across the ground, getting defenders running up. Brother Terry. He tries to go longer, but didn't kick it all that well. Spalding crashes the pack. It comes to Thompson. Thompson goes for goal or Madden. Hughes taps away from Madden. Yates, they're there in numbers. And Danny Hughes gathers the bouncing ball and clears for Melbourne. 2-1 for the Demons. Steins marks.
Steins has been fantastic. So has Wilson. Out to Newport. Newport back to Steins. This is great football by Melbourne. Steins, the long kick. Up to Bennett. Danaher hotly pressing him. Bennett trying to tap it out. Grabbed there by Hamilton. In after it again. He's got backup support from Watson. Watson coming across half back. Finds Neil Danaher. Oh, he might run into trouble here. Oh, he gets it to Anderson. Anderson. 2 full forward. The mark is dropped down there by Danny Hughes. Grabbed by Buick. The mark dropped by Yates. Grabbed by Simon Madden. Manning can't trap it. Hooks it back into play, and Melbourne even get out of trouble now. Oh, boy, is this their day. As Gary Lyon comes away with the ball. That was unbelievable as Obbs takes the mark at half-back.
Remarkable that Essendon couldn't get a goal out of that. Kicked by Obbs. Knocked down into the path of Clark. He goes for goal, Stephen Clark. Yes! Oh, just shaved the post. And he's had 2 posters and 3 goals as well. Essendon really facing an onslaught here. Terry Danaher kicks to himself. And then goes wide for Kickett at half-back flank. He's outnumbered 2-1. Goes back to Cransberg. Love it. Great tackle. Neil Danaher. Hamilton. Bombers just 1 goal since half-time. Hamilton into Thompson. Thompson, good kick. Madden underneath it, though. He gets back. Almost. Buick. Goes for the short pass. This time they'll get a goal. Manning. Peter Rode comes on for his first run for Melbourne as Eishold leaves the arena.
No wonder they haven't used the interchange much.
The 18 have been superb. Andrew Manning has kicked a couple of goals. 4 players have kicked 2. And Manning has missed. Well, they can't buy a goal.
Well, it just shows the difference when a side's going well. He would have probably kicked that one had Essendon been well up, not feeling the pressure. But on that occasion, every Essendon player has been under pressure. And it just makes it so much more difficult.
Well, he actually kicked it over the line to himself. Now, that is very technical by the umpire. He kicked it.
He's got to kick it out by 2 metres, not up.
By 2. Well, it's very technical. Well, he's going to bounce it right on the line. Madden in after Spalding. Is that holding the ball? Held to him up by Chris Mitchell said, and back comes Spalding. That could be a free kick now to Simon Madden, I would think. Yes. So silly play by Earl Spalding. Not that it'll make any difference. The umpire absolutely correct there. You have a look at this. Well, we saw it a little bit late. The original.
And who had who?
Well, when Spalding got to his feet, he may have made contact with Madden, but I don't know whether it was intentional or not. He was just getting to his feet.
I thought the umpire was dead right. Well, there's Madden. From directly in front, the Melbourne members not happy about this kick. Madden puts it through for a goal.
Madden's first goal and the Bombers' second since half-time.
There's Gary Lyon not too happy with that decision about the kick-off.
Well, I don't blame him. Too technical.
Well, very technical, that. And that was Simon Madden's 499th goal in league football. So it's been a great effort by Simon over the years.
.5 minutes left in the match, and Melbourne bolting away. 46 points the margin. Comes down to Newport. They clear the centre once again. Anthony Danaher backs himself, ran straight past it. Here comes Clark.
Oh, he's hurt his knee too, I think.
He's hurt.
Maybe a knee.
He gave away the free kick for an over-the-shoulder to Anthony Danaher, but it doesn't look too good for Stephen Clark, who's been brilliant today with 3 goals for his new team against his old team. Anderson finds Terry Danaher. Over the top, O'Brien. To half-forward Road, just on the ground. Should have taken the mark. Madden to Buick. Buick's hand pass short. Steins looking for Newport unmarked. Kick by Newport to half-forward. Bennett a long way out from full forward. O'Brien caught in a good tackle by Lovell.
They're calling for the stretcher for Stephen Clark, and I fear he may have done that right knee of his.
Well, what a shame once the game had been well won. Anderson's had a poor day. Might be back on the wing now, but spent most of the day at centre half forward on Spalding. Gave him a nice fix-up. Road to Steins. Steins wide to Bennett, who's kicked 4. He's on the 50. Goes in with the hand pass, but drops short. Tap back to O'Brien. Good pass by O'Brien, finding Kickett. Well, just as well Hamilton's got a heck there. Actually, the whistle's gone back behind play, and all this while, Stephen Clark has been loaded onto a stretcher and has been carried off the ground. And here's Clark going in and, in fact, giving away a free kick to Anthony Danaher, but it twisted the knee.
Well, that's bad luck for Steve Clark. He's been an excellent player for Melbourne today.
And obviously, we won't see him back. He's going straight up the race. 14 minutes left.
Derek Kickett to O'Brien. O'Brien, the long kick to half forward. Or there's a Melbourne mark and a good mark to Phoebe. Got a lot of strength all over the field, Melbourne. There's Obst and Peter Road. Oh, there's 3 players out there. Buick does the chasing, some good shepherding. Allows Peter Road to kick it to half forward. Tapped away by Grinter. The Melbourne crowd love Grinter. He's got it from 45 metres. Straightens up Bennett in the centre of the pack. It comes loose. This is Brendan Moore to Peter Cransberg. Cransberg not sure who to give it to here. Now he elects to give it to Hamilton. Hamilton straight up in the air. That'll bring rain, that one. Steins punches it away, and they're paying the advantage to Brett Lovett, who has been absolutely brilliant. Lovett to half forward. Lovell gets it to Grinter, onto Newport. Neil Danaher in after it. Coming back into trouble. Now Michael Long's got it. Long from half back, wide, finds Spawn. No one moving on that Essendon forward line. They missed Michael Werner up there this week. Manning to kick it. Kick it from 60 metres. A long driving drop punt. Will it bounce through for a goal? Which way? I think it just sneaks in. It's a goal. A belated goal to the Bombers. 11-10-76. They've been trounced by Melbourne. 18-8, 116.
Yes, that's 1 goal to Derek Kickett. Spent a bit of time on the interchange bench, but they were able to get some run out of the back line on that occasion. Essendon. Manning getting the pass across to Kickett, who was unattended, and a good long drop punt from just outside the 50-metre line, bouncing through for a badly needed goal to Essendon.
That was the first goal to Derek Kickett, who's had 12 touches. 40 points the margin. Demons clearly in front. O'Donnell to Kickett. Essendon might finish up with some cheap goals here. Kickett goes for another mighty bomb. It's well offline and bounces out of bounds. Stephen Clark off the ground. Michael Roberts.
As you know, Drew, he was taken straight up the race on a stretcher. He looked in an awful amount of pain, and the doctor pointed to the right knee, and it doesn't look too good for Stephen Clark.
Bombers back into attack. Madden wins the tap, but it goes to Newport. Newport's kick off the left boot to centre wing. Salmon, clever mark. Didn't know what was coming. Moving it on quickly. Hamilton, inside half forward. And Spalding has been superb in the key defensive role.
Now, was he off?
No, Simon Madden.
Simon Madden shakes his head. He really didn't. He was about to play on, but I don't think he moved offline, Bernie.
Well, Simon Madden just came right across the mark, so the umpire had no option other than to give the 50-metre penalty.
Well, on the stretch from centre wing to the pocket. Bennett might mark this. Good use of the body. He just hit Danaher out of the way and took a good, well-judged mark.
Yes, good mark there by Bennett against the 2 Danahers, Anthony and Terry.
He copped one a little bit high there, Bernie.
Yes, he got one across the eye when going for that mark. If he kicks this, he'll forget all about it.
Well, he's kicked 4. And he is in a bit of trouble with that eye. Now he kicks a country mile. Bennett, you'll see as he kicks this, he kicks right through the ball, and he'll usually sends him right over the goal post. He kicks the ball very high normally. Have a look at this. By about 20 metres. Did he sneak it in for a goal? No, he didn't. He really does, in my opinion, kicks a little bit too high at times.
Well, he probably does go for a bit too much there, Peter. That's 4 goals, 3 to Darren Bennett. He's been a good player, especially in that third quarter.
Anthony Danaher kicks in, not one of his best, straight onto the chest of Wilson on the 50-metre line. Now, normally, Anthony Danaher would beat Wilson by 20 metres in a kicking competition. Well, this time he has too. Wilson's kick way short. It bounces through a lot of players, 4 are behind. Well, that was a shocker by Anthony Danaher. He'll be looking to get this well outside the 50-metre arc. Didn't go for huge distance, goes for brother Terry, and Bennett snips in to take the mark in front.
It could be a chance here too, Drew, from about 55 metres out. He kicks it a long way.
I'd just about back him, Bernie.
And if he kicks this, he'll go to the top of the goal kickers list on his own in front of Tony Lockett. It's a boomer with a mighty kick. Won't quite make it. Dwyer almost the mark. Anderson in trouble. Moore leads the race, and the ball goes out of bounds. We've got 9 minutes and 50 seconds left, and it's a 42-point lead to Melbourne.
Dwyer against Salmon. Terrific contest all day, the ruck duels. Spawn lays the tackle on Newport, and the umpire will bounce in front of the Melbourne goal. Very impressive display this by Melbourne. And up in the finals for a couple of years and haven't been able to go on with it. And get Bennett really firing at full forward with that ruck strength, and they've got good little men. Well, they might be a real danger this year. O'Donnell in after it for Essendon. And Essendon look fast. They look a brilliant side last week against Hawthorn. Today they've looked sluggish and very ordinary, Bernie.
Yes, well, they've also had 4 changes to the side from last week. 3 players out, of course, suspended. So that would have made a difference to their lineup.
Ruckman lock arms. Comes to Terry Danaher. Out of defence with a good clearing kick. Neil Danaher. The hand pass into Manning. Back to Neil Danaher. Benched a couple of times. He hasn't quite looked the same player he was before that knee injury. Gave it away that time to Lyon. Thumping kick to the goal square. Bennett not without a chance. Hands to it, no mark. Lovell in front. Goes to ground, off the ground by Wilson. Here's Bennett. And through 4 are behind. Bennett now 4 goals 4.
Made a big difference, particularly on the dry grounds. He's going to be a danger. He's about 6'5". He can take a mark, and of course he's a booming kick. So there's Kickett, centre of the pack. That's a good mark to Kickett. Oh, not paid by the umpire. I thought he got first bite. And now the umpire's going to play the free kick. Played a good last quarter, Derek Kickett. He's been on and off the ground all day. He wants to hand pass this. He goes inside to O'Donnell. O'Donnell, a left footer, trying to get round onto his left foot, chasing after him, Graham Yates. O'Donnell gets the kick in. Hughes, and I love it. Lovett has absolutely outclassed everyone he's been on today. 10 marks, and he is a dead set star, Brett Lovett.
Up short of the wing. Stretch, at full stretch. Couldn't take the mark. Eishold. No one to give it to there. Salmon. Oh, Spawn looking the other way. It wasn't meant for him. Comes to Watson. Well, the Bombers looking a bit of a rabble today. They might have played their grand final last week. Kickett. Thumps the back of the ball, but doesn't get the same distance as once earlier in the quarter. Clever tap out by Long to Buick. This is close. A goal to Buick. Actually, the Bombers are winning the last quarter, but it doesn't matter much.
No, it was all over in that third quarter when Melbourne bounced away to a big lead. Have a look at the replay now. A little bit of pressure gone off out of the game, and Buick an excellent snap on the left foot. Wouldn't have been able to do that earlier in the game because the Melbourne defence and tackling was just so good, but maybe a little bit of sting's just gone out when they know they've won the game so convincingly.
At least Essendon are fighting it out, and Kickett's playing as a ruck rover in this last quarter, doing pretty well. Well done by O'Dwyer to Wilson. Obst faded out of it a little bit, had a very good first half. Kicked by O'Donnell to half forward. Over the back was Buick, into the back of his opponent, Graham Yates. Or was it Brett Lovett again? Has he played a game? Out it comes to Watson. A quick hand pass to Long, who taps it on. He's been quiet though, Long. Here's a chance for Neil Danaher from 40 metres. Kicks in a goal. Doesn't quite make the distance. Stephen Stretch tries to keep it in play. But Neil's not a shadow of what he used to be, unfortunately.
No, there's no doubt about that, Pete. And, of course, a couple of knee reconstructions, shoulder injury. They all take their toll.
O'Dwyer still getting up high. Spawn and back out of bounds. Just over 6 minutes left. There's Neil Danaher. Off comes Eishold, and Tony Campbell comes back for the Demons. The throw in. Congested forward line for the Bombers. Manning wins a good head out, but goes straight to Hughes. Kicks for open territory. Will O'Brien get this inside the line? Clever kick. And we'll have a throw in.
It's like one of those rugby kicks that goes to the line, Drew.
He's kicking for touch. O'Dwyer and Madden. Taken away by Phoebe. Tingate was. Obst. Now Gary Lyon. To centre half forward. A big climb at the back and a mark by Campbell, has just come off the bench. Away to Yates. Short pass to Bennett. Bennett takes his 8th mark, coming up for kick number 11.
And not good enough to get a game with the West Coast Eagles.
Well, they were worried about his knee problem, Pete.
Bennett has missed again. So he's had a bad last quarter for accuracy with 3 behinds.
Bennett will make a big difference to this Melbourne side if he can continue his form. We've needed a full forward for years. Now there's the kick to the half-back line to Gary O'Donnell. Off he goes. O'Donnell looking for Neil Danaher against Spalding. Good use of the body then by Neil Danaher. He goes wide to his brother. This is Terry. Terry Danaher from 35 metres. Kicks in a goal, and there's another one coming up to the Bombers. Well, they're fighting back. They're only 5 goals 2 down now, so Kevin Sheed will be happy with that.
Well, maybe with this last quarter, but I don't think he would have been happy with the Bombers' performance overall. As we see Neil Danaher getting the handball to his brother Terry, who kicks his 3rd goal. He kicked 2 in that first quarter, but they've battled hard, the Danahers, without a lot of success.
Four and a quarter minutes left. 32 points the difference. It had been 47 at 3/4 time. Long punches the ball up the ground. Leading the race is Manning. Hand pass drops a bit short. Bounces all right for Thompson. Centering kick, Wilson. Well, Brian Wilson's had a pretty good day with 24 possessions. Out here to Phoebe. Short pass onto the chest of Newport. It was a great 3rd quarter. Melbourne kicked 8 goals to 1 in the 3rd quarter to wrap up a match which had been kick for kick in the first half. Almost to Campbell. Comes out with it. Beats 2 of them. Gets the hand pass away to Grinter. Well done by Grinter to keep it away from Madden. Off the ground he goes. But Thompson's back there to defend for the Bombers. Round the boundary line looking for Hamilton. Campbell punches from behind. 3-1 Melbourne. Comes to Stretch. Into Newport. Newport long to Bennett. Maybe this time a mark and a goal. Well, a mark at least. Interesting to see Terry Danaher back there on him. He kicked the last goal for the Bombers.
Yeah, let's have a look at this mark again. He's just too big and too strong there for Terry Danaher. Good positioning by Darren Bennett. Let's see if he can kick a goal in this last quarter. Been very inaccurate so far.
He kicked 3 of his 4 in that third quarter onslaught by the Demons. This is close to missing again. Well, it's 4 behinds in the last quarter.
Well, he could have had a big day, Darren Bennett, had he kicked accurately. Well, that's about 4 goals, 5. 3 goals in that third quarter. And just not making the most of his opportunities.
Anthony Danaher back at full back to his brother Terry again. Now that seemed to be in the back to O'Donnell, to Cransberg. No one moving up forward for him. Now it's Neil Danaher caught behind against Spalding. And there's just been no quick movement across that half-forward line for Essendon. Free kick being played out there to the Bombers. And it's to Neil Danaher. 2 minutes of play left in this match. Very impressive, Melbourne. Oh, there's Anthony Danaher receiving from Madden. Danaher to the pocket, and he's found another defender up there in Paul Hamilton. So he's really switched his players around. Kevin Sheedy, try and find something to click for him. He's had 8 kicks, 5 hand passes, normally given the job on a top forward of the opposition. But will kick for goal from 45 metres. Paul Hamilton, there's the kick. It floats in towards goal. It's another one to the Bombers. Well, they're coming back too late, but they only trail now by 4 goals, 3.
Yes, it has been a good last quarter by the Bombers. The kick from Hamilton, normally a defender kicking from about 40 metres out. But Melbourne's performance would have been a lot better had Bennett kicked accurately, kicking 4 behind so far in this quarter. But they had plenty of easy opportunity as goal, Melbourne, but haven't gone on with it.
In the last quarter, Essendon have kicked 5 goals 2 to 1 goal 6. Grinter gets it going forward. Manning's kick to half forward. Oh, difficult one. What a mark, a spectacular mark taken by Moore. He goes with a quick hand pass to Spawn. Neil Danaher lines up for goal and misses to the right. Attendance today, 59,894. So just short of the 60. Been a big week here at the MCG, though.
Just under a minute of play left. Danny Hughes, been a good player, Danny Hughes, back in that Melbourne side. Lovely kick too, picked out Steins. Steins has been excellent. Over to Obst. Former South Australian to Campbell. Campbell might break the shackles here. He does, and kicks it long. Here's Bennett again. He's got 2 to beat. Oh, clever play by Bennett to punch it back to O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer puts his body in. Can they do something with it, Melbourne? It was good play by O'Dwyer. There's Grinter. The Essendon defenders trying to shuffle it back towards the boundary line. Grabbed by Buick. Kicks it to the 50-metre line. But it's taken there by Tony Campbell. Time clock ticking down. Campbell will kick from 55 metres, and it'll be the last scoring shot of the game, I would think. There's a couple of seconds to go. He'll kick it just on the siren. Tony Campbell kicks and misses. 1 point. Great victory to Melbourne.
Well, it'd be too easy to say that Melbourne came to a stop in the last quarter because they had the game won, because really Darren Bennett had so many chances at goal. He kicked 4 behinds, but Essendon did win that last quarter. Winning margin 26 points for Melbourne after they'd led by 47 at 3/4 time. A big victory here to Melbourne, who are now the only undefeated team in the competition after 3 rounds, and they lead by a clear game from Essendon and St Kilda and others in second place. Huge win to the Demons, and they did it in that third quarter onslaught with 8 goals to 1. And listen to the members of the MCG rising to the mighty Demons, who were a power in the 50s and the 60s, and they made the finals in '87. It had been the first time in 23 years. But they look perhaps as though they might do it now for 4 years in a row. Melbourne looking good. The final score here at the MCG, Melbourne 18-14, 122 to the Bombers 14-11, 95. Leading goal scorers, Bennett kicked 4 for the winners. O'Dwyer, Andy Lovell and Stephen Clark, who was unfortunately off the ground with an injured knee, all kicked 3 goals. And for Essendon, Terry Danaher kicked 3. It was a great game, very impressive Melbourne.
They were very, very impressive. I thought, Drew, even in the first half, they looked the better side when the scores were fairly even, and they faded in the last quarter, but that third quarter, Bernie, brilliant.
Well, the third quarter set it up with that brilliant passage of football. Bennett, of course, kicking 3 goals in that quarter, but even in that first half where they just completely tackled, chased, harassed Essendon, they looked a better side, just couldn't put it on the scoreboard.
You can see where the stats can sometimes be wrong when you see 134 handballs to 100.
Today's match is part of the CUB AFL 1990 Premiership season.
In the third quarter, Melbourne kicked 8 goals to 1 to lead at the last change by 47 points. Essendon came back a little bit in the last quarter, but Melbourne ran out winners by 27 points. Bennett kicked 4, Lovell, O'Dwyer and Clark 3 each, but Clark injured his knee, and I don't like his chances for the rest of the season. And Essendon, Terry Danaher, in his first game of the season, kicked 3 goals. So it was a magnificent victory to the Demons, who had only won 1 match against Essendon in the last 5 years, and that'll be important to them going into the final series if they can be there. But they're now on top of the ladder, the only unbeaten team.